so many out. Then moving down the course, we did see in certain sectors at the end when the tiredness came in around about 21, the big stoppers there were holding a lot of people up. What about yourselves? What did you see?
Yeah, gate 3 actually caused a lot of problems for the athletes. It was quite low. You'll notice that the bow's actually popping up underneath the pole of gate 3. Some athletes chose to go around, which incurred extra time, but looks like we're about to start now with Thomas Rack, who's in the starting position.
As you see, he's 26 years old. He's had a couple of finals this year, and he's way down, which means he didn't really do what he wanted to in the heats, but he came through, which is the most important thing.
Yep, so you see that he's actually put the bow around gate 3. It's very important to have a good solid start, so you don't want to pick up a touch that's going to play on your mind, and he started off clean, and looks like he's going to settle into a good run.
Well, 76 athletes started off on Thursday. They had a day or so off to watch yesterday. The C2s came down, so I guess that was a good mark. It's exactly the same course. I have to stress they have not been on this layout ever before, so it's new water, although they've seen, as I mentioned, the athletes yesterday. How's he doing so far?
Yeah, so far I think you should be happy with this run. Very solid. He's not really pushing the limit, but we did see yesterday a lot of athletes fall out and pick up a lot of penalties in the women's K1, so maybe he's taking a bit more cautious, but we'll see how the other guys play out later in the semi-finals. He's looking very, very good. He'll be happy with this. This should sit somewhere in the top 20 for sure, but he's gone in a little bit early into the gate 16 and just got caught on his edge. He'll be wanting to make up a bit of time after that. I don't think this is necessarily going to be a challenge on the top 10 times.
As that 2 seconds will cost him his year, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like that. He's got a couple more teammates that will be starting off after him, who are also quite accomplished paddlers, but he might be a little bit disappointed with that, and he's fatiguing on the bottom there. He's lost his edge in the bottom drop, and I guess he's wishing he could start that over again.
Well, no reference points. He comes through in 1:05.88. As you can see, 22 gates, 6 upstream, which have not necessarily been the ones causing the problems. It's just the relentless stopper, and you're so tired, I guess, by the end.
It's a very physical course, and you'll notice between probably 16 and 17 that they'll tire out. So now we've got Liam from Ireland, and he'd be very happy to be in the semi-final at these World Championships. Hopefully he paces it out well and doesn't get too tired in these first few gates.
19 years old, and in 2014 came second in the world under 23, so he says has a pedigree. He's just really making his way into the top level.
Yeah, it's he did look very good in training as well. I'm actually very surprised with him, although he does have the results behind him. He hasn't really broken out, I don't think, into the senior ranks yet, so this is a great opportunity for him this morning.
And it's the top Irish performer in the week. What's vitally important, it's great to have a World Championships final, but probably more important for your long-term ambitions, the top 10 nations who finish this event, so not necessarily the finalists, take a quota place for their nation to go into the Olympics. So it's absolutely massive, and I know we're grateful for you coming in, Ethan, because your mate Robin Jeffrey is holding the nation's hopes, and he'll be coming a bit later.
Yeah, it's definitely playing on my mind. It'll be playing on a lot of these athletes at the moment, sitting at the start line. Just briefly go back to Liam's run, and he's not doing too badly, pretty solid. See how he crosses through on the finish here, and he's had a great 21 onto 22, so he shouldn't be. He should be pretty happy with that.
Well, it's clean. Is he going to go first? Just outside. But crucially, a clean run at 19 years old in your first senior World Championships, and has never made a final yet, even in the World Cups. So it's going to be interesting. Michael Yann has won World Cups, is a huge talent.
Yeah, he should definitely be pushing for the top 10. If not, he has medal potential in him. You should see a very solid time. He should be setting the pace this morning if he can pull off a clean run. And he's looking very smooth at the top. And no problems whatsoever on 3, and just pushing straight into underneath gate 8.
Well, as you see, slightly up on the clock.
So 0.7 up, that's a good mark. He should be building into the run. You'll notice the better paddlers will actually paddle faster on the bottom section. Don't necessarily look too stringently and at the top split. So
that's where we saw all the time changing hands. It was a case of you could throw it away in the top section, but you couldn't win it.
Yeah, you're not going to win the race in the top. It's definitely a race from the bottom third, looking from 17 down to the finish. He's actually 0.21 down. He's just picked up a 2-second penalty. He's going to have to paddle hard in this last third of the course.
And I guess this is where everything starts to hurt.
Yeah, he'd be definitely feeling it by now. And knowing that he's picked up a 2-second penalty, he's paddling hard. Might not look it, but there's a lot of grip, a lot of grimace on his face. If he can zoom
well,
in
it's
on
a
the screen.
very fast run.
Wow, 5.9 up. So that's what I was talking about. In the bottom third is where you can make it all. He was down at the halfway point, but in the bottom third he made it all.
Well, we have a world champion, not in canoeing, in kayaking. It's the Stefano Cipresi from Italy.
Yeah, an interesting style. He's gone in above gate 3 and taken the touch. As I said earlier, you're just going to be very careful. There'll be a choice of the athletes either go around or above, and if you go above, there's a big risk of hitting that pole. Interestingly, he's gone to spin on 5 to get a better exit and faster gate 6. He's gone to switch. You'll notice he'll switch from left to right, which is a signature move of his. Something you usually see in the C1 women, but he's made it work for him in the C1 men.
And the other expert at this, Fabien Lefebvre, who's the reigning world champion, is not competing this time because he hasn't had his USA citizenship. He's still trying to miraculously negotiate that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to go for him, but all the best. Hopefully that works out. He's looking a little bit all over the place at the moment. You'll notice he's rocking his edges a little bit. It is, you do see it with him quite a lot to rock the edges, so it's not too unusual because he switches sides a lot. He's a bit unconventional.
And we saw he's 4 seconds off and quite a big hit on gate number 18.
Yeah, that's going to be hard to make up. 4 seconds of penalties. That's
50. They're giving him a 50.
Yeah, obviously they've ruled he hasn't quite got through that gate properly. And he'll be disappointed his World Championships. Looks like it's over.
So if you're not an expert on canoe and kayaking, what's the actual rule about the 50? What do you have to have?
So you'll be ruled a 50 if the judges determine that you haven't put your whole head or part of the boat through the gate. So green gates, it's going downstream through the gate. Red gates, it's moving back up against the current through the gate.
Demenier, a real character in Le Saillet. He's a living legend, and he's. I think he was. If you'd ask him a year or so ago, would he be in this position? He'd probably be surprised.
Yeah, in recent times he hasn't looked too good in the water, but in the last year, especially in Saillet, he's an absolute master there. And this morning here, you can see he's made a real comeback. He looks so smooth on the water, and that's definitely his signature. Just moves. He's just fluid through the gates, I think. And he's only 0.43 behind the time, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. He's probably pacing it for this bottom third.
And clearly he spent the last year on his conversion to the coaching world. He's been in the States, and he has lots of other plans as well.
Yeah, he's taken up. He's been doing a little bit distracted in the last few years, but definitely back on it now. And he's put down a little bit of edge there, which has caused him to slide out, going into the next downstream gate. So he's 2.5 seconds down on the split at the moment, but this can all be made up from gate 17 to the finish if he can have a smooth run. He's been held in that stopper there. He's dropped the edge. This doesn't necessarily look good for him. It's not promising signs. He's dropping edges. he's looking tired, so hopefully he can pull it off in these last 4 gates, but he's not necessarily showing the signs that he's going to do that.
But crucially, he's keeping clean. And
Yeah.
now he's going to really have to go, though. Well, an honourable run.
Yeah, it's not a bad run. Definitely fell apart just in that last third. Shows how important it is for you to really pace the top section. And here's a very good athlete here, Roberto. I remember he had a bit of a shocker back in 2014 at the World Cup here where he broke a paddle, so hopefully he has better luck this run.
And of course, the second Italian to go. We've had 5 athletes down the course. There are 30 due to go in total. The top 10 make it to the final, and the top 10 nations are given a quota place for Olympic Games.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be playing on his mind, the quota position. His teammate from Italy hasn't quite pulled off the best run with the 50-second penalty, so hopefully he can do something and secure the position on this run.
Percy has appealed it, and it's come off. Ooh, so he's down into fifth position. Third, sorry, he's at 105, but initially he's in third. Michael Yann is leading with 99.9.
So far, he is looking good, Roberto. Very aggressive paddler, actually. Let's see what he can pull off on the bottom section. He's about to come over for his split time now. And he's 2.27 down on the split, so he's going to have to work for it at the bottom. And he's jumped straight through the middle on the stopper there, which has slowed him up a little bit. You'll see some paddlers try and skirt the edges, or like Roberto, he's just jumped straight through the middle on that earlier gate on 17.
This section, this has caused all sorts of problems for some, and like Roberto here, he flies through it. Isn't the water consistent? Well, let's say he's coming up to the line. It's going to be a good time. It's not going to go into first, but it's the best Italian so far.
Yeah, that's a solid result for him there. Hopefully the time holds, and I think he probably would have wanted more out of his bottom section, because I know he's an absolute perfectionist in the water.
Well, next in the water is from Portugal, Jose Cavalo. Hasn't managed to come out of the semi-finals so far this season.
He's got a very high stroke rate in the top of the course here. Hopefully he's saving something. He's gone to spin. As I said before, you might see a few lefties go that option, just get a smoother and easier start and not put so much weighting on a move that's relatively simple on the top. So he's 0.79 down, so the spin hasn't cost him too much. You could see a lot of the left-handed paddlers use that option this morning. Now it's very important that he gets a smooth entry into the 12 and drives flat across the top of here on the stopper. And that's looking pretty good. Hopefully he's got enough for the bottom, but I am slightly concerned that he's expended a lot.
Well, Portugal, I believe it's his first final, and also it's the only Portuguese athlete in this competition at this stage, and is crucially fractionally up at this stage.
Yeah, fractionally up. It's all important on this last part here, if he can hold it on the final drop in the course. He is up. Let's see if he's got the fitness to maintain that lead. Straight in under 20, that's beautiful. Wow. I think he'll be happy with this run. This should go through for the lead. He should come in, I think, on a 98, 99. Oh.
Just outside.
Just outside, yeah, but he should be happy with that. That's a really solid run for him. That's a good shot for the top 10. Let's see if it holds up.
Michael Martican, one of the legends of the sport. Let's see how he goes.
He's gone the safer option on 3. He's a very efficient paddler. You'll see a lot slower stroke rate in comparison with the previous paddler. He's very smooth, almost looks conservative, but he's always running the tightest line.
and apparently likes the difficult courses. He was concerned it was too easy. It's not about the plan, it's about the execution. He's 0.66 up.
Yeah, this is looking a good run at the top here.
He'll need to forget about what's been done. He'll need to do a lot better than 99.
That's very, very nice. High into the up left and then into the up 12. Super smooth, flat across the top it should be. And I think this is going to be up on the halfway split, and if anyone can hold it from the bottom, it's Mardikan.
Well, there's noise, there's respect from the locals, one of the greatest of all-time paddlers.
Yeah.
And he's 3.77 seconds up at the moment.
Yeah, this is great run. He's super smooth, super flat, and he's just gone, he's skirted around the stopper there, so he'll pick up some time on the other guys that actually took the hit there.
The Slovakia contingent of fans just next to us, they're making a lot of noise. They had a lousy day yesterday, and they're having fun now.
Yeah, they'll be pleased with this result, because I think he's going to cross the line in first position if he gets through this 22.
Well, he's certainly going to go into position. What is this? It's going to be a remarkable run. 6.4 seconds better than the rest.
That should definitely take him into the top 10. I'm speaking early, but that's a bloody good run.
Well done. That was extraordinary to see the man who pressure doesn't seem to affect him. Another top paddler, Niko Betge from Germany. The crowd need to really take in what they've just seen because it is exceptionally good.
Yeah, that's a tough act to follow, but here comes Niko. You'll notice, again, the stark contrast between Mardikan and Niko's style. He's very much more higher stroke rate. He's taken a touch on gate 3, which isn't the best start to his run. Hopefully that doesn't play on his mind. He can still make it up on the bottom, which we saw the other day. Doesn't matter what happens at the top, it's what happens at the bottom. Oh, well, another touch on 5.
So it's not the same as the last one. That was quite extraordinary what Mardikan's just done.
Yeah, that is the start that you want to your semi-final into the final, hopefully for Mardikan. And in comparison, it's tough to watch this. It's a hard run for Niko.
Well, for the last few years, he's been on the edge of the team. Sometimes he makes it, sometimes he just misses out.
Yeah, he's a very radical paddler. He takes risks. It's exciting to watch. But with 4 seconds of penalties, it seems like everything is stacked against him at the moment.
Well, as you see, he's well done, but let's not take too much relevance to that because Mikael Mardikan was, I think, 4.5 seconds up of all the rest.
Yeah, with 4 seconds of penalties under his belt already, he's only 2 seconds down on the split on Mardikan, so it's not a horrible run, it's just the penalties that are going to hurt him in the long run at the end of the day.
Well, coming through, it's possibly not what he expected. It's quite fast, but with the penalties, it really just puts him out of the game, unfortunately.
Yeah, that probably won't hold up with the likes of Banush coming down and Sidiris. Those guys are going to be pushing the Mardikan's time, and I don't think Niko is going to go through. And here's Ryan Wesley.
Local, up-and-coming athlete, has really broken through this year, trains with David Florence, and a lot of people are tipping him for the top.
Yeah, I definitely tip him to. I was having a chat with Katina Hoska, a teammate of mine, and we definitely had him in the top 5. So I think he should make the final here today. He's a local. He knows the course like the back of his hand. He's had a great season, so hopefully it pays off for him.
And hopefully the stress is out of the way. I know he didn't do what he wanted to do in the first heat, but came through, and I think he won the second heat, or was certainly up there. So it's stress should be out the window now. Only fractionally off. Clearly has masses of local knowledge.
Yeah, he's just picked up a touch on gate 8, just a slight clip. So maybe that's the nerves getting to him. It's not a boat touch or anything like that. It's one of those just silly touches where he's just pushed the hand into the pole. So he's going to have some time to make up on the bottom section here, but the way he paddles, he can definitely still make it through.
Well, lots of noise, clearly as a local, and we're in the grandstand, so you hear the vibrations. But it's falling off a little bit at the moment. Yeah,
Mardikan's run was exceptional, so I wouldn't be too worried by that 4 seconds. He's actually paddling very fast with a 2-second penalty, so he's 2 seconds down on Mardikan's split without the penalty.
Coming to the crucial time-losing section.
And he's looking good, he's over the boat.
Now it's just a case of holding it together. Another 6 or 7 strokes, he's over the line, could go into second place. Well, salutes the crowd, giving it his all.
Let's see if we get a replay of the touch.
Well, this is an internal battle for the Slovakia selections for the Olympic Games. Slaposski here, he's not doing particularly well at the moment. Let's see how he goes today.
So he's still on the line around gate 3, which is definitely the cleaner line, the easier line. Super smooth on the top, he's having a solid start.
And we still have Matej Benešík, I believe the last to go, who at the moment is leading the internal selection process over. It's going to be over 4 races. We had Seo, we had Pearl, we're having this, and we're going to have probably the Europeans. And he's 1/10 of a second up at the moment. That's good.
Yeah, he's looking great on the course, especially with this extra pressure that's on all these Slovak paddlers. At the moment, he's not sitting in the best position. He definitely needs a win today amongst his teammates. So hopefully for his sake, he can do a good run here and challenge in the final. Just a little bit offline there. I think he's got a little bit to make up here. We'll see him come across the halfway mark, and I expect he'll be just down on Mardikin's time.
Well, he's still in touch, but he's 3 seconds off the pace of Mardikin, his compatriot.
Yeah, that all happened around that drop there where he just got a little bit edgy, but super smooth through the gate 16, I believe there. Sorry, 17.
Make or break time now.
And that's a nice exit. He should make up a lot of time there.
He just has to really do something extraordinary, make sure he makes the final. Well, let's have a look at his emotions. Still doesn't know. Creep through into the semi-finals from the first run in 20th place. Adam Burgess, the reigning under-23 world champion, yesterday went with Greg Pitt in the C2, so he knows this course inside out.
Yeah, this is a real opportunity for him today on his home course. An opportunity to break through in the senior ranks, making the team and making the semi-final here today. So hopefully he capitalises on it, and he's gone to spin on 5, having a nice solid start. We saw before it doesn't cost too much to use the spin on the top.
Well, the crowd are drawing their breath, but once they realise it's Adam Burgess, they're probably going to make some noise, and he's slightly up on the split.
Yeah, he's looking great at the top. Hopefully he's not overexcited and can hold this on the bottom, as I said before. He's a little bit low into the 11, so he's got something to make up on Mardikin there.
Adam Burgess has all the pressure on his shoulders. Let's see how he handles it.
Just squeezing through 14 there. I suspect he'll be just down on Mardikin's split, maybe by a couple of seconds, maybe 3.
Well, slightly inside Slaposski, so he's off the top pace, but he's putting together a good run.
Yeah, this is looking good. He'll be happy with this. He's coming into the important move here on the next drop.
And you can see he has local knowledge. He knows exactly where he wants to put the boat.
Yeah, this should be no problem for him. He would have done this 1,000 times over. It's whether or not he can handle the pressure of the moment. And he's looked, yeah, that is unbelievable. He's going to come through with a great time, I think.
How's the energy going? Push it. He's not going to come first, but he could come in second.
He'll be happy with that, I think.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Hand in the air. He's fulfilled his contract. Whether he makes it to the final, we're yet to see. But he's every time you talk to him, he's saying, I am taking it all in. I am conscious. I know what's happening, and I'm having a whale of a time. Next to go is Gregor Hedwig from Poland. 18 athletes to go. Mardikin is leading by 4 seconds at the moment. A really extraordinary run he put down. Top 10 go through. What we're interested in is the top 10 nations, however.
Yeah, top 10 nations. The Brits, I think, should be happy with Burgess' run. Then it should secure the top 10 spot. Looking at the performance there, see how it unfolds though. And Hedwig is just 0.51 down on the split at the top here. So yeah, solid start, but as we know, it all counts from the halfway point going into that bottom third.
Well, the crowd are drawing their breath a little bit after the Martican and the Brits coming down.
Yeah, we'll have to remember when we're looking at these splits, Martican's run was exceptional. There might only be a couple of paddlers that are able to challenge that time, so let's see how it goes in.
Well, 1.3. Also, we need to point out the splits are manually made. They're actually someone physically holding something. Say it's I just need to see if it's 100th of a second, then you date.
Well,
always taken out of the gate.
That's an interesting line. He's gone down the right-hand side of the stop here. Haven't seen many paddlers do that. And he's taken out the pole on 18.
As we go through the top paddlers, these little errors will not be excused.
No, especially when you're chasing a time like Martican put down. I think this would go in behind Burgess.
There goes into 5th place, so far. Slovakia, Great Britain.
Yeah, the Brits will be happy with those times. Hope we'll see if they can hold up.
Next to go, it's Cameron Smedley. The Canadians completely distraught about their K1 performances. Let's see, he can put a smile on the Canadians' faces.
Yeah, I think Smedley's happy to be here, considering his last performance in the World Cup in Po, where his spray deck popped, and he didn't quite have a run from there on. He stopped in gate 5, so he'll be happy to be here, and he's soaking it up, and he's had a solid start.
Well, he's still in touch.
Yeah, he is in touch. He'd be happy for the position where he's in at the moment, and I think he's looking to rise to the occasion and really prove to his team that he deserves a finals berth here today. And he's got to have a lot of work to do in the bottom, but it just depends if he's pacing it at the top. Picked up a touch on 13. It's not looking good for him coming into the halfway split. He'll be quite a bit down on Martican.
Well, 4.81 seconds, which would put him about 4th or 5th place if we follow the other. But it's taken out another gate. It's going to be very complicated for Cameron Smedley from Canada.
Yeah, this isn't looking good for him. And what happens when you start making these mistakes?
Well, there's another one.
You start to change your game plan, and there you go again. He's pushed really high into the up 20 and taken another touch.
Well, he's given it his all. But unfortunately today it's not going to be enough. With 4 touches at this standard, you're not going to make the final.
No, he's paddled hard all the way through the end with the amount of penalties he's had. He's actually, I think he'll be half pleased with the raw time on that, but he really put it in. Dave Florence is up next.
Talking about raws, we're going to have a huge amount of noise. David Florence knows this course better than anyone else. A great ambassador for the sport. Number 1, which means he's ranked number 1 in the world so far. Let's just watch this.
And everything I've said about pacing, throw it out the window, because this guy can just paddle 110% from the top to the bottom, and especially on his own course.
So far, he's safe. And he's in touch. He's half a second up on Martican.
Yeah, he can definitely push Martican's time. He could come in, a second ahead. Let's see what he can do. But it's looking promising for him, and if anyone knows this course, it's him. Beautiful, into 12. I suspect he's going to be up on the halfway split. He's just taking a little bit of a surfing on the back of that wave there.
So that means he's probably about flat at the moment. Let's have a look.
Here we go. He looks like maybe a second.
Well, 1.2. He's going to have to do something.
Martican had absolutely no errors in his run. It was close to perfect. So Dave is going to have to really push in the bottom section here, but this guy has fitness and he will deliver on the bottom, I think.
David Florence from Great Britain is clean. 1,000 people running down beside him. 3 more gates to go. Just needs a clear run here. And he has it. Push, David. Hardest 7 strokes of his year. Comes through into second place. 2.26 seconds back from Mardigan.
Well, that was a real testament to Mardigan's efficiency. If you remember back to his run and you have a look at David's run, he's really putting in a lot of effort into every stroke, but Mardigan almost looks effortless because he's running that smooth line.
And Elisegi, great talent, great to watch, needs to fulfill his potential. We always go on about how he's 4th in Beijing, 4th in London.
Yeah, he knows his course. He was 4th in London and he's spent some time here, so he should perform well today. He's picked up a 2-second penalty. I hope for his sake he has a good day today and can get into the top 10, because when he's on, he can challenge for the medal positions.
Well, it's 1.7 seconds back. It's all about coming in the top 10 nations to qualify a quota place for the Rio Olympic Games. And so far, it's looking good for the nations because we have 2 Slovaks and 3 Brits in the top. Well, ducking in and out.
Yeah, this isn't looking good for him. His edges are a little bit heavy at the moment. He's leaning on his paddle. Not great signs for him at the moment. He'll be down on the split here, 4.26 seconds down. He's just picked up another touch.
That's unfortunately 6 seconds off the pace. He's not going to make that up again.
Yeah, looks like this could be the end of his campaign today.
Half of the competitors to go, so 15 to go still.
Yeah, 15 to go. We've still got one more Spanish paddler who will be looking to make that quota position, and I suppose the pressure's going to be on Ander, who's coming up shortly. But today, it doesn't look very
He moves into 12. He certainly missed the final, but I'd say it's all about... Jordi Demenier has 11th place so far. So that would put him at the moment into 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th nation.
Yeah, it's not good.
Russia, Kirill Setkin. Russia have a really good, solid program starting to develop. They had some athletes in the final yesterday. First of 2 Russians to go. Five from 6. Some of the athletes were held up by the stopper, others had a wave. He's fairly neutral there.
Yeah, he's going to be slightly down. So he's 1.34 down. He's not looking like he's really attacking the course at the moment. Hopefully he's saving something for the bottom. Sometimes the nerves can get the best of you in these situations where you're trying to paddle cleanly around the poles, because everyone knows a ticket to the finals is definitely going to come off a cleaner run unless you've got the pace to match it with the top guys. And he looks slightly conservative. He's going through the middle of everything, but you'll notice he's just some slightly wider lines in and around the ups. Yeah, he's 5 seconds down, so although he's clean, he's just a little bit too conservative.
But the conditions today, there's going to be no excuses, because there's very, looking at the flags, there's very little movement, and it's a beautiful sunny day.
Yeah, these are ideal conditions to be paddling this morning. Wind usually causes havoc, and we saw that actually in the first day of the heats qualification.
That's going to be interesting. You have to have all your head and part of the boat at the same time going through.
Yeah, see what the judges' call is on that, but
moves into 10th position at the moment.
I think that was just a straight case of too much, the nerves getting to him, a little bit conservative, trying to have a clean run.
Alexander Lipatov, can he go better for Russia? So far, Zetkin moves into 7th nation. Livertov has struggled this year so far. He's made only 2 semi-finals in Seyo and Liptovsky and missed out in Krakow and Pau.
Yeah, not the best season. He's a great paddler. One of the leading Russian C1s. Great technique. He's 0.29 down.
Well, that's good. He's very much in touch.
Yeah, he's very, very on the pace at the moment. And really, he looks very relaxed in his run. I think he's going to have a lot of energy come the bottom section because he doesn't look like he's putting in a lot. It's quite deceptive when you watch an athlete like Dave Ford, who's really putting in the hard yards, and then you see other athletes just cruising along, and he's putting a bit more pace in the boat right now. So obviously he's saved something for the bottom.
Right, but picked up. Oh, it's all gone wrong. He's picked up a 2-second penalty. He's stumbled there, and it's within 2 seconds. It's all fallen apart.
Yeah, this is going to be tough for him to make up now. He's come in with a game plan, it looks, and it's fallen apart in gate 8 and then into the upright there. Yeah, this is going to be tough to make up on the bottom section. I expect he'll fall outside contention for the finals, but the crowd's definitely cheering him on at the bottom here with a strong following.
Well, moves into 10th place, so moves ahead of Zetkin, his compatriot, by a second, so it might do something for the actual, the overall quotas. Pierre Tantia from France. Well, if your current form is any indication, he won the last World Cup event in Po.
Yeah, that was a course he knew like the back of his hand. He's had a great season, and also being the #1 French C1 on the team. He's coming into this. I think this is his first World Championships, actually.
Denis Gagoshenu is the 2011 World Champion. Unfortunately, doesn't make the top team this year. We have Nicolas Peschier coming in a couple of minutes. In fact, the next athlete down, so it's very tough. But he's 0.07 seconds up at the moment.
Yep, 0.7 up. You'll notice he's got, you might notice, hopefully you don't, there's just some fins in the bottom of his boat there. So that's designed for him to hold higher into the upstreams and minimize the slide that you see in a lot of the athletes. And he's held a very tight line through there. He's looking smooth. I think he's going to be just down in the split. Mardikin was super, super quick. So 2 seconds down on the split. And then the important 17-18 move now.
So far, putting forward a promising clean run. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the top 4 athletes so far have gone clean. Well, needs to 93 to go in the lead, but 95 might be enough. No, slowly slipping away from him and moves into 7th ranking.
Just came undone on the bottom there with the touch in gate 21. He won't be happy with that.
But crucially, the 4th nation. Nicolas Peschier, brother, was an Olympic champion in the kayaks. Pierre Labarelle, they actually missed the team this year, so he's just going in this event, gives him a chance to concentrate. As everyone mentions, he's possibly the strongest athlete in the field.
Yeah, he's referred to sometimes as the fridge. He's huge. He's a ball of muscle, and he can move his boat around the course. .07 down the split, so he's had a solid start, but we won't read too much into that as we've seen a lot of the paddlers fall apart at the bottom, unable to keep up with Mardikin's pace.
Well, last 3 events he's been in, he's made the semi-finals, so he's at his level, but on his day he could make a final.
Yeah, he definitely has the potential in him to challenge the top guys.
When he retires, he's going to be a photographer, so he'll be on the scene for many years to come. Percy on the split. Well, he's in touch. 2.24 seconds. Oh, but he's held back a second to say that.
Yeah, just stuck on the eddy line there. but he's made it up through the all-important 17-18 move. Coming down to the drop, you want to be very tight into the up 20, and he is, and he's could have a solid finish here. He could straight back something from his mistake there, but he's sideways. He's pulled it around.
Need to put the accelerator down. Every second counts. Pushing for the line. Can he have a top 5 finish? No. Goes into 6th place. But that's crucially important because it puts France above Poland. And he moves into the 3rd nation position. Well, the Czechs in the C2 yesterday, they made the Olympic quota, but they missed the final 3 top boats. Then we were disappointed for them, but Katerina Kudyova came through and won the K1 women. Lots of nicknames for this chap. Very, very flexible. Won in Prague and is having a bit of a challenge in the start of the race.
Yeah, he's hit gate 3. He's gone the spin option, which we've proven this morning isn't too slow. It's actually being one of the faster options at the top.
Well, he's 2.3 seconds off the pace, but he can certainly negotiate these gates as good as anyone.
Yeah, he'll be looking for a final position today.
To hope the stamina keeps going after 100 seconds of hard effort. 38 years old now, one of the senior athletes in this tour. Was an Olympian, of course.
Yeah, he's well known on the circuit as the Elasso man. He's very strong, very flexible.
And still in touch. Apart from Martican, we have a lot of athletes hovering around 3 or 4 seconds back on the split. Oh, if it's deliberate, you have a 50-second.
A 50-second penalty, yeah.
Well, 50's gone on and come off.
Yeah, so maybe they'll have that reviewed later by the judge, but
it did seem like his shoulder pushed it gently out the way. Anyway, let's see how he's going. It's going to affect him badly though. With 4 seconds, and he's slaloming around here. Another 2-second penalty. Unfortunately, it's not going to be his day. Michael Yanni is the first Czech paddler to go. Now, Ethan, you have to try and hold it together. This is important. One of your best mates going out, trying to get the quota place for Australia. He's certainly capable of a very good run. Let's see how he goes. Robin Jeffrey from Perth.
Great start. Hopefully he holds this all the way to the bottom. My heart's beating for him a little bit here.
Taking the spin option. Let's see how if it's a stop or is it a wave. Safely comes through 5 and 6.
Yeah, this is a great run, great start. He'll be just down here. He's a little bit low into the 8.
But he's in touch. He's 1.25 seconds gate. So far, it's looking good.
Yeah, you'll notice Rob has this very flat style. He tries to keep his body weight very neutral. Very nice in the cross there, high into the 12. That's what he needed to try and make up that time that he lost in the top.
Well, he was with us in the commentary yesterday, so he knows what should be done. It's just a case of can he execute, and so far he's doing a cracking job.
Yeah, this is looking good actually. He's scraping back a little bit of time. He's going to be down on the split, but
well, 5 seconds off, and he's taken 2 more seconds.
That touch is definitely going to hurt him. I'm not sure if he's going to be through to the final with this time, but definitely
needs to get the top 8 nations. It's going to be really nail-biting stuff. Well, in and out. Just needs to have a good run of the water here. Oh, he's taken another 2 seconds. Unfortunately, it's all fallen apart. Well, comes over the line. And that's 16th position. If we're doing the mathematics, Slovakia have a place, Great Britain have a place. So far, France, Poland, Russia, Czech, Portugal, Italy, Germany. I'm afraid it's not the top 8.
No.
Or the top 10 has to be. At the moment, I believe he's sitting in 10th.
So that's going to be a bit of an issue for us, but that means we'll have to try and qualify a continental spot if it
Not
comes down to
necessarily. It depends on Casey Eichfield, Benji Sav. The others have already have boats that have qualified anyway, so he's not out of the game yet.
Still in it, and Hanada, he's looking good at the top here, with 0.47 down. So Hanada will also be looking to qualify a top 10 position here.
Japanese athlete, clearly, and he hopefully won't be too distracted by the extraordinary feat that the rugby club, the rugby team did yesterday, beating South Africa. Yeah,
that was a great game. Hopefully he's feeding off that pride of the nation, I'd say, behind him. And
an accomplished paddler, trainer Lauren Liptovsky. He's 4 seconds off the pace at the moment.
Yeah, he's just a little bit down on the split time at the moment. Well, more than a little bit. We have to make up a lot of it at the bottom. But if he can deliver a solid section, the race for the Olympic quota spot could be secure in his hands here.
Well, coming over the last crucial section, is he held up? Is he clean? Well, he's clean. He's putting forward a very good, consistent run. And this is going to move him into what place will we see? Well, he's ranked 11. However, he's well up on the quotas. He moves into 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th position.
So yeah, looking good for Japan.
Looking very good for Japan. Casey Eichfeld was the poster boy at Deep Creek. Had a wonderful time in the Pan American Games. And now he's really, in the last few months, he's fulfilling his potential. There's photographs from when he was 6, 7, 8 years old in a boat. He's always, this is his dream. Knows the course. Well, he didn't make the semi-finals in the C2, but he's been on the water a little bit. And he's up on the split.
Yeah,
well, it's extraordinary round going through.
Yeah. He's also an aggressive paddler. You'll see in his style, it's great to watch. You can really see that he puts everything into every stroke. He's having a great run. He's really matured in his paddling, and he used to be one that was inconsistent when he got to these semi-final runs, but he's definitely had a lot of more consistency in the last few months in his paddling, and he could definitely qualify today and even challenge for a medal position.
Well, look at that. He's half a second up.
Yeah, this is a great run.
Well, this is something, maybe a bit of a surprise, although he was in the top 10 from the heat, so he's certainly on form at the moment.
This is looking great. He's paddled hard from the top to the bottom. Hopefully he can hold it at the bottom here.
Made the final in Krakow.
I suspect he's going to be just in behind Mardikin, just going off that bottom spin there. But
this could be enough for second place. This will almost certainly qualify him. Moves into second place, qualifies for the final. You can't have much better than that.
Yeah, he's ecstatic there. He'll be very, very happy. I'm very confident that he could definitely secure a spot in the top 5 in the finals. So he's definitely a medal challenger.
Well, we have a cracking final lineup. Mardikan's qualified, Eichfeld's qualified, Florence has qualified, Slaposski's qualified. Any more messes up, it's Burgess and Wesley, the Brits, going forward.
So Martin Thomas, he had a wrist injury not that long ago, so he'd be just excited to be racing today, and he's paddled very well in the qualification rounds, and he's looking good at the top here.
And everyone was hoping from the French team that he comes through on an honourable basis. I believe he won the French Piège or the French trials, and then, as you say, he had the injury, which was always a doubt. So Gago knew could have come here, but luckily for Thomas, he's come through.
Yeah, a very quick recovery. You can barely even tell that he's had an injury. He's got a bit of strapping on his I think, I'm trying to have a look at his wrist there. I think it was his top wrist.
Coming through, let's see where he's going to be on the split. Well, Could be on the verge of making a final position. He's less than 4 seconds off the pace at the moment. The last qualified was 4 seconds off the pace as he finished. This is our last Frenchie to come down today, and the best position of France is Nicolas Péchier, who will have a quota place because he's in 7th place, but in the 5th nation, I believe, or 4th nation. Well, comes over, and he's pushing for the final place. In 5th place, and he's booked a place in the final. Show some emotion.
Looks like he was having a think about that for a second then, if he was happy if he was going to qualify. But yeah, that's a great run for him, especially off the back of that injury.
Benji Sav from Slovenia. Up until this year, everyone was saying he's the fastest, but he makes mistakes, and then he suddenly cleaned up his act.
Yeah, he's had a reasonably good season, actually. He's looking great. Super smooth on the gate 5, nice spin there. He'll be challenging for the top 10 today.
Clearly, Deep Creek, 12 months ago, he took the silver medal when it looked like he was leading, and then we have the situation, Fabien Lefebvre, who just through an appeal came after. This year so far has had 2 podiums in the World Cups.
Yeah,
see how he's going.
He's had a great season, but he always seems to be on or off. He's either up there or he's always pushing for it and going for it, and I think that makes it exciting to watch this guy. And 0.27 up on Mardikin's time. He's having a great run, but it all comes down to this bottom section. He's smooth through into the gate 18. He'll want to high up and exit across the wave as he comes into the final section.
Coming down, he will be one of the favourites so far without a mistake. Avoids ducking in, and it looks like it's a very solid run that will put him in the final.
Yeah, I think that's going to be just ahead. I thought it was going to be just behind Mardikin's time, but yeah, that was a very, very good run.
Well, not a surprise in a way.
No.
As paddle fans in general will be delighted because he's one of the top dogs. Citus Taciardis, an Olympic medalist, has one of the shortest paddles, one of the happiest guys on the circuit, and let's see if he can put it together on the day.
Yeah, he's had definitely a lot of experience on this course, being the Olympic boat for the German team. He's paddled here more than most people would have, and he had the fastest, I think, raw time in qualification for the heat, so he's in good form at the moment, and he should definitely make the final today. He'll be unhappy if he doesn't.
Well, let's see how he comes through.
So just 0.83 down on the first split, but he can definitely make that up at the bottom.
Citus Taciardis so far, they don't have, well, they've only had one athlete down, Niko Bedke. He doesn't make the top 10. He doesn't even make the top 10 nations. So it's really important that Citus has 4 seconds penalties. Need to keep it going for Germany. Franz Anton yet to go.
Yeah, he's picked up 4 seconds of penalties on the top. He's going to be a long way down the split. He was already down on the first split, so yeah, he's 5.42 down, so
it looks like it's going to be towards Franz Anton to take the quota place. Franz Anton clearly is on form this weekend as he won the C2 yesterday with Yann Benzian.
Yeah, he should definitely be feeding off the victory yesterday, and hopefully he keeps his focus and didn't have too big a night last night in celebrations.
Well, you were in the same hotel, I guess you'd know.
Yeah, I think by the looks of it, they had a quiet night, so
well, he's taken out gate number 21. It's not going to help. He needs to keep it going. Has to be in the top 10 nations. Comes in rank 17. Well, this adds a bit of tension to the game. Game in the best possible sense.
Luka Bozic up next.
Luka Bozic, no stress in the sense that Slovenia have taken the Olympic quota, but he'll want to do well. Was the world champion in C2 last year. Disappointing season, I guess, by their standards. Let's see how he can really perform, but has the fitness, certainly.
flat. Gone the around option in gate 3. Let's see if he goes to spin, and he has. The C1 men have actually comparatively had really solid top sections compared to what we saw yesterday. They've learnt from the K1 women and have gone the around option on gate 3.
We were seeing so many athletes yesterday who had world reputations making the same penalty on 3.
Yeah, it just kept occurring over and over again, and there was a lot of complaints about gate 3. Was it too low, or was it just you had to adapt to the water? And it looks that the C1 men today have gone, hey, let's not take any chances on 3 and have a solid start and push it around the gate. And Luka Bozic is down just 0.42.
Needs to rely on his fitness now in the last 25 seconds of effort. Needs to be faultless to get into the top 10. At the moment, the 10th place is 5.92 seconds back. We have 2 athletes to go after Luka. So he needs to come in at better than 99.32. It's going to be really close.
Yeah, it doesn't look good in that last section there, but he's got a sprint to the end.
Remember, 99. No. No. Well, we only have one mystery still to go for the quota places. Franz Anton needs to do better than 99.97. He needs to come better than 15th to book the 10th place, which Portugal is taking at the moment.
Yeah, hopefully he can do it for the Germans. He's had a great season. He's coming off a win yesterday, and he's recently crowned the world champion in the C2. He had a quiet night, I can confirm that, and he's looking strong at the top section.
Well, positive pressure. Let's hope he can put it up. Significantly younger than Yann Benzian, but they seem to make the dream team. 26 years old, and so far he's having a good season. He's making a lot of fun. And 1.33 seconds up.
1.33 up on the top section. So he's having a great start. He's a little bit caught up in the 11, but when you're 1.33 up at this point, he's got a little bit to give away there.
It shows amazing reactions, how he can adapt to any situation.
Yeah, a little bit heavy on the front of the boat there. He's got to claw it back. I suspect he's going to have lost his advantage just in that section there.
Well, that's okay. He's still very, very much in touch.
Very close, yeah.
Germany are looking good, and it's certainly turning out to be his weekend. But 2 seconds penalties. Well, that's okay. He can be 5 seconds back.
Yeah.
Clearly, he'll want to make the final, but also he'll need to have the quota place when it goes to the Europeans, and that's going to be a shootout.
A little bit caught up in 20. Every second counts at the bottom here if he's going to make the top 10.
Well, crucially, he needs to be for the top 10 under 98.44. And he does. He goes into 6th place.
He'll be happy that he got away with that. He was doing so well in the top section.
I think he'd be more than happy. Right, we do know a few things now. What we know, unless I'm making a mistake here, is the 10 quota places. It's not game over, but it does mean that they will have to qualify via your continental competition. It's Mate Beneš coming into the run. He's had some scintillating runs this season. He's leading the Slovakia trials, I guess the world is, for the position to go for gold in Rio. He needs to make a final. If he comes first, I think it's going to be game over. Let's see how he's performing today.
He looks unbeatable on the water at the moment. I'll be surprised if he isn't in the final today. He's 0.45 seconds down, so he's looking good. Solid start, no touches.
And good support. We do have Slaposski through. Martican is through. And for the Brits, it's great news. There are all 3 British competitors have made it into the final.
Yeah, that's outstanding for the British team. They had 3 through on the K1 women yesterday, but weren't lucky enough to pull off a medal, and I bet you they'll want something there today. And there's just been a 2-second penalty added on gate 13, so he's 3.51 down on the split here.
To make the final, he needs to beat Nicolas Peschier, so he needs to come in at 99.43.
I want to see this guy paddle in the final. I'll be disappointed if he doesn't get there. As I said, he looked unbeatable on the water earlier this week.
Long limbs, is able to push it through. Does he get the break? Now, 98 seconds. He has 8 seconds to come over the line. He should do it. Goes into the final. And relief is probably an under-exaggeration there.
Yeah.
Well, the final, we do know who's going to make up the final. We'll have the official results for you in a minute. More importantly, perhaps, we know who's taken the quota places. It's the top 10 nations who take it. According to my calculations, Slovenia, Slovakia, USA, Great Britain, Germany, France, Poland, Russia, Czech Republic, and Japan. It's not an easy conversation, but how do you fit into this?
So now we'll have to go back and try and qualify a continental position. So that would be between other countries in our region. So the big other powerhouse in our region is New Zealand. So it'll be us versus New Zealand for the Olympic spot.
When will that be?
So that will take place in February. It's still to be confirmed, our selection dates. But
where will it be?
In Penrith.
In Penrith, so you still have a fighting chance.
Yeah, we have a fighting chance, of course. There are a couple of, it's never quite black and white with these things as well, so we'll have to wait and see what happens, but it looks like it will be a continental spot for us.
Well, good luck for all the athletes here. It's heartbreaking for a lot of athletes this weekend because we had, I think, 76 start out, 30 make the final, 30 make the semi-final, 10 make the final, and only 1 wins, 3 on the podium. So by definition, most athletes have to temper their expectations because clearly you're all the world's top athletes and you all want to win. And here we go, classification of the men's C1 semi-finals. So we have Slovenia, Slovakia, USA, Great Britain, Slovakia, Germany, France, Great Britain. The battle, internal selection, continues for Slovakia with Martikan, Slaposski and Benesh all going through. The other nations who will take the quota places, France, Poland, then we have France, Russia take a place, Czech Republic take a place, and my mathematics correct, also Japan takes a place. I believe Portugal have just missed out. It's going to be very difficult because they're going to have to go through the European qualifications, which is going to be really, really tough.
Yeah, the pressure's definitely on in these situations, and I think we saw a lot of the paddlers fold under the pressure, and there'll be some people out there that won't be happy with the result and having to go back and try and qualify those continental positions.
That's the name of the game. They all know the rules before they start. Right, it's the same course, it's the same challenge. Clearly we have shorter angles, we have less strength, so we have to use a different tactic here. I guess that's when we're going to see in the women's semi-final a lot more cross strokes.
Yeah, you'll see a lot more of changing from side to side. In the men's C1, they paddle more on their dominant side and then will cross over across the bow of their boat rather than change hands. You also see a lot more spins coming into the equation. So they're planning how they look at the course is completely different to how the men look at the course. They're looking to use the water a lot more because there is an issue of strength for some of the female athletes, but they get down the course very, very quickly, and in some cases just as quickly as some of the men.
We'll have to see. We have 20 athletes going, and the top 5 or 6 are stacked with athletes who are used to winning. Last off will be European champion Kimy Woods. Hoska is there, who's had a world champion before. Fox is there, who's a world champion, and the list continues on and on and on. First to go, Nina Bijak from Slovenia. So far, good crowd here. They can't believe that it's September and the warm weather in the UK is so kind. After Wednesday, when it looked like the world was finishing with the deluge that came down, it's every day the weather is better and better, and today virtually no wind. A really good crowd. The way it works is the crowd is on the going down the water on the right bank. On the left bank, it's reserved for officials and athletes, because clearly a large part of the preparation is mental here.
Yeah, you want to try and get the best vantage point from the inside of the course. We've got Nina just starting off now, coming over the top drop.
And clearly this is, well, we can't call it development, but they're fighting for their place in the Tokyo Olympic Games. So there's no quotas at stake here for the Rio Games, but it is very much, if the equality laws come in and the laws are rubber stamped, then these athletes will be preparing for the Rio Games. And we're already seeing some challenges here.
Yeah, already finding trouble in gate 5. I assume a lot of the girls will spin on 5, and Nina's gone for the double spin there. We're going to see a lot different style of paddling to what we see in the men. They definitely try to use the water in a different way and try and be more efficient with their style and save the energy for the bottom.
Well, not being rude to Lee Valley, but I don't think it's going to impress her that much, because she's done really well in a world ranking competition in May this year. She came second in Tachin.
Yeah, that's a great result for her. And
the Slovenians clearly, without exception, they're all very comfortable on big water.
Yeah, this is a whole nother game, I think, though. It's hit after hit after hit. Unlike a natural river, these courses are designed to make it great viewing, and she's coming down to the up left now. She's quite a lot down if we use the guys as a marker of anything, but I
don't think we can here.
Yeah.
I think we take it on an individual challenge, and let's see how the girls handle this challenge.
She's getting knocked around a little bit on this run, but she's holding it together.
This is her first World Championships, and she's only ever done 2 World Cups, so it's really a case of a massive learning experience for the 20-year-old.
This is a huge leap up for her. It's a total different pressure situation when you go into a World Championships. The crowd's bigger. A lot of the programs are pivotal on the performance of their athletes at the World Championships. It's the race of the year, so...
Well, here she comes. Come on, keep paddling. And crosses the finish line. And I think also the fact that in the sport there's some hero worship, and she's surrounded by all the top athletes in the world every day, so that must be quite stimulating but difficult to handle. We have next on the course Zufia Sabitova from Russia, and she's having a challenging start.
Yeah, picking up 3 touches at the start, definitely not how you want to start your race. she better get herself back online quickly if she's going to be a chance at the finals here today.
Well, it's no news in the sense that she made the final in the last World Championships in Deep Creek, and so she has experienced the big time. Just needs to pull herself together, because we see the 6 seconds of penalties, but we do tend to see larger gaps in the women's than the men's.
Yeah, there's generally a bit of a larger gap, and you'll see someone like Jessica Fox coming down the course later. He's definitely going to throw down a fast run. I think everyone knows that Jess usually pulls it together, and we've got the Kimy Woods, who's also another great C1 paddler from Great Britain. So I think she's really going to have to pull out a fast bottom section if she's got any chance to push those girls.
Half the athletes will be performing in the final. We have 20 in the actual event. Why do we have different numbers in different categories? It's just, we said, it's the traditional strength in depth of a field. So we had 107 men starting off in the K1. We had 38 women starting off in the C1.
Yeah, it's a bit more representative of the amount of competitors in the class. It's a tough cut for these girls to make it through to the final. 10 boats through. It's very competitive. Needs to
pull it right. Oh, well, she's taken another 2 points, but it's not going to be far off, to be fair. The time is 1:49. Just needs to hold it together. Paddle for all his work. She could come into the first place.
Yeah, she should cross in first place. Yep.
Yeah, well, you can always say she was leading the semi-final in a World Championships.
Yeah, she doesn't look very happy with the run, though. She can do better than that, and let's see if she'll get another opportunity to rectify that run.
Next is quite an experienced paddler, although she's only 18 years old. It's Miriam Lozano from Spain. Made the final last event, which was in Po, where she actually came 10th, and in the junior world she came 5th.
So she has some decent results under her belt. Let's see if she can step it up on the world stage today. She's had a great start, no penalties. She's moving into the up 8 now, and I think she'll take the fastest time.
Well, 6 seconds up at this stage. Dropped a little bit back, so she's losing half a second every stroke.
Yeah, just a little bit heavy on her edges at the moment. She's gone the switch through there, so she can get a nice entry into the up 11 and surf across. So you'll notice that they'll start off on the right hand side if they're a righty, and going into this move they'll definitely want to be on the left hand side.
Well, switching there as we see her negotiating 12. It's looking a promising run.
Yeah, she's looking good, staying clean. I think that's definitely the first box you got to tick when you're going down the course, and it's going to help, especially when the other girls have pulled so many penalties. If she can stay clean, she's definitely on the road to the finals.
Yeah, significantly up, 10 seconds up at the midpoint split, and looking in control of the boat.
Yeah, she looks like she's moving through the waves without a problem. She's not getting held up in any of the stoppers, looking smooth. She's relaxed out there.
Well, the crowd of relaxing a little bit, taking in the sound, admiring these athletes. Again, just if you've been very critical, she's dropped a couple of strokes low at 2 of the upstrokes.
Yeah, that's going to cost a little bit, and it's more the strength that she's going to be tired at this bottom section. We saw it in the C1 men. When you have mistakes like that, the body just begins to shut down slowly. The muscles are burning, and should be hurting right now going towards the end, and that could hurt her chances at the final.
But she's going to move significantly into first place at this situation, and moves in by a massive 12.5 seconds. But possibly is going to regret the fact that she had to go up at the bottom.
Yeah, there's going to be some really strong field this C1 women's, and going into the top 10 of the qualifiers, there's going to be some fast times put down, so we'll see if it holds.
That's Kira Kuber from Germany. Germany have had a good program going for the last couple of years now. In my record, she's only been in 2 world ranking competitions. I believe they're throwing her in the deep end.
Yeah, this is a steep learning curve for her, and hopefully she can rise to the occasion for the Germans today.
But it's a huge step up.
Yeah,
but if she wasn't ready, they wouldn't have thrown her in.
She's not looking too bad here. She'll be in touch on this first split here.
Well, very much in touch. Just less than a second off the pace.
Yeah, she's looking good. It's very smooth, and you notice she's paddling on the left-hand side down here, so she'll go down the drop on the left, cross the wave, and then she will probably go for a change of hands on the 12. So this is all pre-planned. They plan where they switch hands to get the most out of the moves and hold the edge. Let's see if she does go the switch. I'll be surprised if she doesn't, and she hasn't, which means she's very confident on a crossbow, and you don't actually see that very often, and that's a big move for the ladies to do a move like that on the crossbow.
Will that reflect in the timing? It's going to be close at the split.
Yep, so 1.17 down. So you can see the crossbow, there's
that must take so much energy out of her, sapping energy. She's been going for a minute and a half so far at pretty much full, 180 heartbeats a minute probably.
Oh yeah, she'll be hurting at this point, and it's the lactic acid that builds up in the forearms and the shoulders. The posture starts to go, you hunch over, the edges get heavy, everything feels like it's an effort.
Well, that's the test. There's no point in being too easy. We are the top athletes in the world, arguably one of the top courses. And she's struggling a little bit, needs to master her way through, and does so correctly. The time to go for is 1:33. She's not going to trouble that, but so far second place is 1:45. It's going to be well in that.
Wow. I'm very impressed actually with the strength of her crossbow. She didn't change hands too many times, and looked reasonably good down the course, so there's good promise for her and the German team, it looks.
Now we have a big name of the future, and it is from Austria. It's Nadine Reing, who won a world ranking event in Bratislava. She's only 17 years old. I believe she has a sister who also very good. I think it's sprints, but here she goes.
She's looking very strong in the top. A little bit caught up on the back of there. I was going to say I think she could have the leading split time here.
But in Prague she came fourth in her first ever World Cup, so she's not scared of the big water and the big stress. It's 1.76 seconds up.
Yeah, she's looking very good.
Still at school, needs to concentrate on the work as well.
And she's also displaying confidence in her crossbow abilities, crossing this large stopper. It's not an easy feat, and she's just nailed it there, straight across. Just a little bit sideways, ducking through the next gate, and she's having to turn around. A little bit of a recirc here, which isn't ideal for your run. She's soaked up a bit of time, a bit of energy, and she's probably beginning to feel it now with that recirc.
Two more penalties have gone on. 6 seconds, which is still okay.
Very surprising. She must have been very quick through that section despite the recirculation in that eddy. But
no, and now so it's starting to. You say it's the tiredness that's starting to affect this.
Yeah, she'll definitely feel like it's the weight of the course is coming down on her. Every single push of that water would just feel like a weight in your boat. And as each second ticks away, it gets harder and harder and harder. She's stuck in that wave there now. You can see her top arms dropping. She's definitely in a bit of pain.
Completes the course, could put herself into third position. Only 5 athletes have gone. Well, gives herself a chance. Let's see if we can read the body language. Theresa Fizzer over from the Czech Republic, and the Czech Republic have an extraordinary reputation in this particular class with the men and the women.
Yeah, they're definitely, well, they're strong across all their classes, but their C1s are the top athletes for sure.
Well, she has some form in Litovsky this season. She came 6th, missed out in the finals in in Krakow Prague, where she was 11th and 13th. So not a newcomer, 17 years old as well.
Very young to be attacking this course in the World Championships.
Got great experience coming forward.
Yeah.
And just 1.5 seconds off the pace. So far, after 5 athletes, 2 have actually gone clear, and 1 only has 2 points, so they've certainly not been phased by the water.
Yeah, not at all. They're looking very good. Let's see if she goes to switch over here on 12. Yep, she's gone to switch, so she's opting for the easier cross through there. She's taken a rather large hit in the next stopper. She's got a little bit to make up on this section here, which was already just over 1 second down on the top, so she'll be looking to claw something back on the bottom section if she's going to be in contention. And she's 4.66 down at the split here.
Well, that's not too bad. I think in a couple of minutes there, when we see the favourite athletes coming down, I think we might see some big time differences.
Yeah, we should there will be definitely a big change in the times as the last 10 come through, and she's had a pretty bad recirc back around on that upstream there, which has cost her a lot of time. And she's looking tired. She's leaning over a bit. She's going to have to push it here at the bottom.
Well, coming through to the last serious move of the competition for her. Can she keep the energy levels up? Needs to get a good run, and she could move into second place. No, being pushed sideways.
Yeah, you can see her body language. Her mouth is open. She's trying to gasp for air, and she's falling on the edges. She's going to have to be a very painful push towards the end here.
But she does it.
Heads
a lot
down.
of strokes, and moves provisionally into 4th place. 20 athletes in total. We've now had 6.
She doesn't look very happy with that run, but she's only young, and it's a big step up onto the world stage, and there'll be many more opportunities for her, I suspect.
Next to go is Cecil Tixier from France, and it's her 3rd season in the senior team. She has a lot of experience now.
Just caught up on that stopper a little bit there. She's going to be just down on the split.
From the same club as Marizélia Lafont in the south of France, just about 30 kilometers away from Po, so she can board up with big water.
Yeah. Yeah, she looks like she can handle herself on this water here. And she's jumped in quite nicely into the up left 11. Gone the switch in the 12 just to make this crossing a little bit easier.
No, she's struggling. She needs to come out. Well, recovered well.
That's one of the traps you can fall into, and you change hands and go to the onside, being the right-hand support stroke that she had there, is that you can put the edge down, which is what happened in the stopper. So she's got caught on the wave up there, but she's clawing it back. 6 seconds down with a 2-second penalty.
But very strong and fit athletes, so hopefully the end section won't phase her.
She's going back for the...
No, that's going to hurt. So not only had she go back, but she ticks up a 2-second penalty as well.
Yeah, this is she's going to have to have a great bottom section if she's any chance of the final here.
Well, needs to negotiate the large, big barrier. So many of the athletes have been pushed off there.
Yeah, it's a very challenging bit of water there. It does change, and when you're so tired, it's very tempting to drop one of those edges, and as soon as you drop an edge, it's over.
Well, Cecil Tixier from France takes initial 6th place. Again, panting hard. Who's next to go? It's Ali Borres, the first of 3 of your compatriots.
Yeah, one of my training partners, and she should do very well here if she's on it. Hopefully she's feeling confident today, because she's someone that could really get a medal, I believe, today. It just depends if she's on a game. She's looking smooth at the top.
Crucially managed to come out of the clear traps without picking up a silly penalty.
Poles a swing on 8.
Will that be water? Or
I'm not sure. I didn't get a good look at that, but it looks like they've given her a touch.
Interesting though. We'll have to see how if that comes off or not.
I'm hoping she really attacks the bottom half of this course. She has it in her. We see it in training all the time, and it's. I think it's today. Hopefully, will be the day that she delivers at the World Championships on the world stage, and she could pick up a medal.
Well, let's see. So far, it's not a disaster. Only 4 seconds of penalties, and with touch with the time, we'll see the split soon.
There's another 2-second penalty that's popped up, so she's now got 6.
Well, that's not a disaster there, because she looks quite quick.
Yeah.
Right. 7 seconds in the touch. Well, 7 seconds at the moment would put you into 3rd place.
Yeah. She's still got this bottom section here to go. She's got another touch which has popped up, which isn't the best for her. She's going to have a very strong finish.
Well, the local speakers are pushing the crowd to give her the last encouragement. She needs to negotiate this one correctly, and it could be... Oh, what's happening there?
She's gone for the spin there, just so she can safely negotiate gate 21 without any problems. So
well, this looks a good time. She could well go into 1st position. She's salvaged something very cleverly here. Well done.
Yeah, she's gone that safer option on the bottom, and it looks like she's planned that spin, I think. And yeah, made up a lot of time. A lot of the girls were spinning out at the bottom section trying to do that direct, so that's an interesting move of hers. Looks
like your training partner's going to have a good day.
Yeah.
Not guaranteed anything, but 8 of the 20 competitors gone. So 1st place with 12 to go. Anna Satila, we saw in the K1 yesterday. She's going to have a lot of fun in the next 12 months. Everything works out, because clearly one of the poster girls for the Rio game from Brazil.
Yeah, she's definitely one of the hot medal contenders for this this race here. And I think if she can put a good run together here, she should make the top 10. She's gone the spin on the 5. And yeah, looking good. Signs are promising so far.
Clearly was here last year in the World Cup, which came 19th, so we'll be hoping to do better than that today. And she's 1.76 up the 1st split with no mistakes. And how's she looking?
Yeah, she's looking great. Looks very relaxed in the water. She's not over edging or anything like that. She's heads up, and she's gone the switch into the upstream 11.
Seems to thrive on the big occasions, as we've always documented. At 16 years old, she represented Brazil in the London Olympic Games, so it's nothing new, and will certainly want to impress the nation with the Rio Games coming up.
And she knows this artificial water. She's paddled the Olympics here. She knows what she's doing, and it's very smooth so far. She's going to be a long way up on this split, I think.
Well, like you said, she's the first athlete that looks like she's dominating the course.
Yeah, she's looking great. This is definitely a time that I think will should stand up against the best in the class.
Looks like she has a plan and spins when she wants to and goes straight when she wants to.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what she's planned. We saw Alison Burrows use the spin at the bottom here. We've seen how much time can be made. And if she has a strong finish here, she could push this lead even further.
There, she's trying to go up, but she has a bit of time in her hand, but looks like Ali Burrows had the right tactic.
Yeah.
So many girls get pushed the wrong way, but she lost in 5 or 6 seconds. Coming through, 1:29, not going to happen. Could go into 2nd place.
Wow.
Looking good for Ali Burrows. We've now had 9 competitors to go.
Yeah, well, Anna was looking great on that run. It just seemed to come down to that drop at the bottom there. Just didn't seem to have the right planning.
Another athlete who doubles up. It's Victoria's from the Ukraine.
Paddling a brightly coloured pink and yellow, which is the name of the boat and the colour of the boat.
Well, there you go. So far, looking solid in the 1st section.
Looking good. bow just crept underneath the outside pole of 5. Lucky to get away with that, just clean through there. That was good. And she'll be in touch of Anna's time, but it won't be necessarily the fastest top section.
Exactly as you call it. 3.3 seconds down at the moment. Has a good pedigree this year in the under-23. She came second. Best result in the World Cup so far is 4th, and that was in Liptovsky in 2015. Victoria Urs from Ukraine.
Yeah, you don't. There's not a whole lot of Ukraine paddlers in the sport. It's great to see her coming out and putting in a great effort and staying clean so far, and she's looking good. I think she'll be very pleased with how her run's going at the moment. Just a little bit caught, but that's not too bad. She's come out the other side of that stopper fine, and she's set up through the gate there, leaning off the pole.
Well, it's going to be a bit off at the split. Well, 10 seconds off. At the moment, that would put her in 6th position, and there's only 9 girls gone, so there's still, after Victoria, there's another 10 to go.
Yeah, what's working in her favour is that she's staying clean at the moment. She doesn't have the pace there, but if she can stay clean all the way to the finish and have a solid plan for this bottom drop, she can still be in contention.
Oops. Well, that's going to be hard on energy. She's allowed to go back, but that's going to hurt.
Yeah, this is definitely going to hurt. She's had the roll. I think it would be wise for her to go to the spin at this stage, but let's see what she does.
Well, very coolly negotiated.
Yeah, I've gone the spin.
The public appreciate a tryer, says good applause, needs to keep it going. Let's not, unfortunately, it looks like she's going to be outside the top 10. And exhaustion, you can't hide it.
Yeah, it looked like she had glue on the bottom of the boat at the end section there. She was heavy on the boat, sticking to the water.
Well, it's Claire Jacquet from Pau, in France, of course.
Yeah, she would know how to handle this technical course and technical gate setting here.
Well, won the world ranking competition in Pau earlier this season. In the World Cup in August, she actually came 8th, so is a top paddler on a day.
She's just outside on the split, 2.9 down. But we've seen that doesn't matter. If you can make it up in the bottom section, it's all game on at the moment. And she looks good into the 11. Great surf and a crossbow, high into the 12. Oh.
Now, it's just costing a lot of time, but she manages to keep control, doesn't panic.
Yeah, just a little bit heavy on the edge, but yeah, she just spins where she has to. She's back online, and it's like she's restarted the race from here on, even though she's had a bad mistake up there, and she's not too far off the pace.
And they have to realise that a perfect run doesn't exist. It's a matter of controlling as much as you can. It's 5 seconds off the pace, but that's okay. That would at the moment put you in 5th position, which should be on the edge probably of qualification for the final. 20 girls in this race. 38 started out a couple of days ago, and it's the top 10 that goes into the finals a little bit later. And as we know, we have no stress because it's not a qualification event, as it's not yet in the Olympic Games.
Oh. So she's had a nasty roll. She's still surfing.
Come on, up you come. Oh. Yeah, the safeties will be in.
That was a nasty surf. I hope she's all right.
She's gasping for breath, but at least she's picked the right time because the water does flatten out.
Yeah, that was a very, very nasty surf. I think you'd find a lot of athletes struggling in a situation like that. That's a very, very sticky drop down there, and she got thrown around.
Well, that's something to absorb. H is okay. Maoli Franklin, the last 2 years she's been the vice champion of the world, has injury problems a couple of times this season, not made the team in the K1, so has concentrated on the C1, and clearly a huge talent.
Yeah, she won't struggle on this water. It's of course, she would have paddled here more than a handful of times, and should be used to the larger water.
Well, a quarter of a second up.
Yeah.
Her story is she won in Liptovsky this year. After that, she physically chose not to go to Say and not to go to Po, to concentrate on some gym, some strength work to get her up to where she wants to be.
Just got a little bit tangled on the exit of that of the up 8 and hit gate 9 and gate 10. So that's cost her a little bit, but she's so calm. She's a professional. She's back online. In her mind, she's probably restarting from here, and she knows that it's all counts on the bottom section.
And quite often she'll take penalties, but still come in the top 3.
Well, as you were saying, she's very strong, and with this extra focus she's put on the class and on her strength, she should have a flying run here.
And if it wasn't for Jessica Fox, she'd be a double world champion, but Jessica Fox is going in a few minutes. Mallory Franking is 7 seconds off the pace. She needs to up it to guarantee herself a position in the final. Well, big cheer coming down. She has 3 more gates to negotiate, and she's well up on the clock.
Let's see what she does here. Will she go the spin?
This is a reference point for other athletes. Oh. Well, takes 2 seconds, but doesn't have to go back. The time of reference is 1:31. Moves into 4th place. Interesting to see that's going to be enough or not. It's not guaranteed. We do know that Anna Satilla and Ali Burrows have qualified for the final now.
Well, that sounds great to me, seeing a fellow Australian up on the board in qualification.
Ros Lawrence, another fellow Australian coming through. Disappointed, I believe, in the K1. She's been struggling with a bit of a cold for the last couple of days.
Yeah, she's been really sick. I've been staying well away from her, actually. Had a bit of a flu going on, so we'll see how that fares in the bottom half of the course. That's when those types of things generally rear their head and affect your fitness a little bit.
I suppose Ros has no choice because she is from a very top paddling family, isn't she?
Yeah, from well, both her sisters are very well accomplished. Jackie winning the silver medal at the Olympics in 2008, and Kate in her own right being a World Cup champion. So Ros is definitely comes from a strong background. And
how do you see her run? She has an early penalty like a lot of the girls on 8 number 3, but is she in control?
Yeah, she's looking great at the moment. She's a very strong paddler, very smooth, flat across that crossing there, and I assume she'll be flat across here. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to handle big water. She paddles on an artificial course in Penrith at home. So she should be very comfortable here.
So she took out gate 13, so 4 seconds of penalties. Needs to, if you've had some sort of virus in the last few days, I guess you're going to be found out in the last couple of gates.
Yeah, this is where you're going to feel it, and so far there's another touch there, but she's only just off the time. We'll see what strategy she uses at the bottom. It might be something that she's just coming around on the and missing and having to go back for the gate 18 there, which is going to cost her a bit. We'll see what strategy she uses in the bottom. Her teammate Ali Burrows went for the spin option down here, which made her quite a bit of time. She's very high into the up 20. Let's see how she goes on the crossing here. Looks like she's gone the direct and spinning in behind it. She has a little bit to make up here. Let's cheer her on to the end.
Well done. Will she go through? Will it be enough for qualification? Let me see. 6th place. Well, she might be. How many athletes left? Now 3 athletes definitely qualified. And they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to go. So it's certainly no guarantee. And now it looks like, is it Victoria Wolfhard going through?
Yep, she's gone into gate 3, negotiated that perfectly. This is someone that could set the pace here, and I think could throw down a challenge to the likes of Jessica Fox.
Both sponsored by Red Bull.
Yeah, the two raging bulls on the course. Here we go. She'll be just down behind Anna, but it's a solid start for her.
Well, very much so. Only a second and a half off the pace, and you just need to hold it together. This at the moment qualified is 6 seconds, 2 seconds off the pace.
Yeah, you'll notice as well, she's someone that loves to switch hands. She utilizes paddling on both sides of the boat. She'll switch to the left here to paddle across the drop, and she will switch to the right, I assume. There she goes. She has to keep it flat here. It's a great exit. She's gone the spin option, just nice and safe. She knows what she has to do. And she's staying clean, and that's going to go a long way to making it into the final here today. She looks like she'll just be behind, yep, 0.83 behind on the split, so she's looking great.
Great stuff, clearly a very accomplished paddler in K1 as well, in the very, very competitive Austrian setup. Well, it counts.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a strong paddler. She knows how to paddle in either class very well. Let's see what option she uses on the bottom, if she has watched Ali Burrows spin or if she's going to go the direct. She's got caught up in that wave a little bit there.
But manages to come through it. You don't have to be stylish, you just have to go through it. Oops. Taking a little bit of time now. This is going to be really, really difficult because I think she was well in situation for the top three, and now it's going to be a real battle.
So she pushes over the line in.
Well, moves into 7th. Might come through, but possibly going to be costly because she lost a good 5 seconds at the end.
Yeah. It's all coming down to that gate 21 for these girls. What option they're going to choose, if they're going to go the spin, if they're going to go the direct, and if they can get the surf across.
Julia Schmidt, another athlete who's had a bit of a bug for the last few days, but there again, Katerina Kudyova had a bug and she didn't do too badly.
Yeah, let's hope that she feels all right in this run here today.
Another Austrian competitor. Made 2 finals. Made the final in Prague this year, she came 5th, and in Seoul she came 4th, and just missed out by 1 place in Po. Let's see how she goes. Obviously, it's quite rare for someone to pick up on gate number 6.
Yeah. Strange hit, but it's only she's not too far off the pace. She's looking good there. She's got some speed across for that. Strong crossbow. Looks like she's going to have to go the spin on. Just had to come back in a little bit there, but that's going to cost her marginal time. And as we know, it comes down to this bottom section. She's going to be behind on this next split on Anna. But only 1 touch, so that's not too bad.
Well, the key is to make it through to the final. We now have 4 athletes through. Anna Cecilia Ali Burrows, Miriam Lascano, and Mallory Franklin. So the local crowd are going to be happy. To be fair, I think yesterday the Brits were a little bit unhappy because every single British competitor who went through the heats qualified for the semi-finals, and then we had quite a lot in the finals, but they didn't quite manage to pull it off under the pressure.
Yeah, I think they'll be wanting to take something home today with the disappointment of yesterday, but they've done well in their C1 men. Let's see how they'll go in their C1 women today.
Well, Julia Schmidt negotiates well gate number 21. She just needs to put herself in a position. She's losing seconds. It's going to be painful. Yes. That's a shame because she came through and now she's fighting and fighting.
Yeah, she was looking really good. It's this bottom move that seems to be such trouble for these athletes. But let's see what she pushes over in.
Well, moves into 9th place, and there's a 5 seconds lost at the bottom. It wasn't even going into gate 21, it was after.
Yeah, she
looks very, very unhappy. Well, Nuria Villarubla, who is turning into one of the world's top paddlers.
Yeah, she's looking great at the moment. Did very, very well in the heats. She's looking comfortable on this course. So many more of these C1 women have just got a little bit more experience under their belt now, and they seem to be paddling this bigger water better and better at every competition. So she's definitely doing very well for herself. Only 2-second penalty, a strange touch in gate 6 though.
Well, it's twice in a row.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what goes on there. And also dabbling in K1 to maybe keep the dream going, but certainly specialises in C1. She is the current under-23 world champion, won in Po just about a month ago now. It seems time flies.
Yeah, it's a month ago since Po. I can't believe it. So going for the spin on 13, going a more conservative line, but it definitely hasn't hurt her too much. She's looking really good in the time.
Well, we'd expect her to make the final. She'll expect to make the final.
And she could come through out 3 seconds up. So she's looking good. She's going to set the pace, but we saw it all comes down to this pivotal gate 2021.
Clearly, so they tire themselves out, and it's just the last two moves that decide whether you go through or your dreams are shattered.
Yeah, when you're on the course for the length of time that you are, and you get to the bottom and you're hurting, the edges start to go.
Well, she has a tactic. She definitely has a tactic, like Ali Burrows does. She's doing the same thing, and it's going to pay off. She's going to go into first place. She's going to qualify. It's going to be easy, and it's going to be a case of how she's going to do in the final. That
was a very, very smart move. Straight through, 10 seconds up, almost 11.
Well done.
Wow.
It's interesting when you spend time with her in Seoul, because we did a profile, and it took about an hour to walk to her apartment, which is 10 minutes away, because she knows absolutely everyone. And it's really funny. Ellie Gibson, I don't know if you remember the World Cup last year here, but it was the emotion when she was one of the first to go in the final, and just the delight and surprise. She eventually came up second behind Malu Franklin, but the joy of her first World Cup making it into a position. Now she's an experienced athlete. She'll have expectations. Local crowd, local girl, and we still have Kimy Woods after her.
Yeah, she's going to set a tough time to beat, I think. I've got a lot of confidence in her. It's a home course. She's very good here. You can see she's sporting the Scottish flag on the side, so all you Scot fans out there.
Well, she's a medical student in Edinburgh, I believe. Yeah. So the other activities off the course, and she's 2.9 seconds up at this moment. We've just seen a wonderful run by Nueva Villarubla from Spain, and it looks like we've seen some quality athletes to go.
She's looking great. Absolutely dominating this course at the moment. These big stopper waves aren't a problem for her. She's gone straight across there. A little bit low in the 12, but it's not going to hurt her at all.
Well, this is what the crowd want. The sun is out. It's September. It's the ICF 2015 Slalom World Championships at the Lee Valley course, where we used for the Olympic Games, and she is really, really strong. Yeah,
she's looking fantastic. Oh!
Great thing to say. He comes out of the roll. That'll tire her out, but hopefully not much more than that. 5 seconds off. She really needs to push through now. However, the person if she's within 17 seconds, she'll qualify. So she's taken out another gate. Can she hold it together?
Yeah, it all seems to be falling apart at the wrong time. She needs to have a strong finish here. It all comes down to what she decides to do on this bottom move. Does she spin? Will she go direct?
Crucially, she needs to be 1:37. All she has to do is be safe. It's easier said than done.
And the strategic spin, I think, is going to pay off for her there. Clean. Oh, no.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. Needs to be within 1:37 and she'll qualify. Will qualify. So needs to learn something from that, put it behind her, and thinks, I'm in the final of the World Championships.
Yeah, that run just got away from her a little bit at the bottom there, but it was a very, very good choice to, I think, spin on the gate 21. She made up a bit of time and crossed the line, but here's Jess Fox.
Jess Fox, I don't want to second guess her, but most people surprised that she didn't quite make the podium yesterday.
Yeah, a little bit of a shock. She has a lot of weight on her shoulders at the moment. You know, Olympic qualification, and also, you know, the expectations of the world, really.
Well, number 1 in the world, which means she is ranked number 1, not only in K1 but C1, and is the reigning world champion, and is amazing in every respect, off and on the course.
Yeah, you'll find her very approachable off the course as well. She's such a very kind and friendly person. Everyone knows her.
Well, 1.39 seconds up at the first split, so this is business time. Won in Prague, the World Championship 2 years ago, by 13 seconds.
Yeah, she's very, very focused. She looks good. She paddles on Penrith every day. She's paddled here more than a handful of times as well, and she's dominating the water.
All looking good so far, switching with confidence.
Yeah, she really uses the switch to her advantage. Going the spin there, I think that's a great option. She should be setting the pace as she comes over into this next split.
And the advantage of going later on, if you want to, you can actually watch the athletes before.
Yeah, as we're seeing, it seems 2.3 seconds up. She's looking good. And as we were saying, if you can watch the other athletes, planning seems to be a big part of the women's C1 category to see what options are out there and what's going to work.
And Jess's fitness, how does that work?
Yeah, she's an absolute demon. You always see her, she's a beast, absolutely finishes strong every time. One of the fittest girls on the circuit, and one of the fittest athletes on the circuit.
And spinning
actually.
Again, this is the tactic that works.
Yeah, she's
well, she's
good.
going to storm into first position and just relaxes over the line.
Yeah, that just looked a bit easy for her. Look at her smiling at the end. Doesn't even look like she's puffed.
Well done. What an ambassador for the sport. Well, still 2 athletes to go. Katerina Hoska, you won't get a happier athlete here. Always smiling, always helping out wherever she goes. And she is the world champion from 2011. And this year, her ambition was to win a World Cup, because although she was the world champion, she'd never won a World Cup. She took it out in Prague on her home course. And let's see how she goes.
Really hitting that top 3 gates with a lot of speed there. She's taking it to the course. She's not just after the qualification, she wants to lead.
Well, let's quickly draw our breath. So far, the qualifications, there's only 2 places left. Jess Fox, Mira Villaruble, Anna Satilla, Ali Burrows, Miriam Laquette, Canoe, Ellie Gibson, Mallory Franklin has qualified, and Kira Kuba from Germany, her first World Championship, also qualified. And she's up at the moment. The powerhouse from the Czech Republic, from Prague, is showing us how to do it.
Yeah, I thought she hit that top section rather fast. She's looking good.
And one of the athletes who only concentrates on C1, so she can manage her energy.
Yeah, she's a specialist in this category, and she's looking good. At her focus on a single class looks like she's really paying off for her. Going the strategic spin there, I think it's a good option for these girls today. It definitely seems to be fast.
Well, where's she on the splits? Is very much in touch. This is what well, second guessing is dangerous, but I guess the priority is to put a safe run through and qualify.
Yeah, she's looking very solid at the moment. A little bit of time spent there. She'll be a little bit behind Jess further from those moves there. But hopefully she hasn't spent too much on the top and she has it for the bottom.
Well, big congregation coming down, cheering her on. All the Czechs clearly. This is the crucial one. What will she decide to do? She's been stuck a little bit, but decides to spin as well. Clearly there's Alison Burrows was the first to do it, and the others have said, yes, this is a clear tactic. Safely into the last 10 and the qualification for the final, which we'll see in a couple of hours' time. Well, goes into 3rd place. So the top 3, Fox, Villaruble and Hoskova, which I guess they might even be the favourites.
Yeah.
Well, Kimy Woods to go. Kimy Woods has been had ecstasy and agony yesterday. She's delighted to make the first World Championships final in the K1, was leading and then had just a late penalty. Sorry.
Oh, I thought I saw a touch almost from the start. I saw the poles shaking a little bit there, but looks like she's got through there clean. Oh, there it is.
Thank you.
There's the touch. That's not the
Ethan
best way.
Hodson from Australia knows how to call it.
Yeah, she's. That's not a great way to start when you hit the gate 1. I had similar experience in my heats qualification where I hit gate 1, so maybe a little bit of nerves getting to her, but let's see how she goes. She was so good yesterday. I was very impressed.
Crucially, even with that, she was still 1.88 seconds up.
Yeah, wow.
So that means she's 4 seconds ahead of the field.
Or in a K1, if that's anything to go by, she was so good, so fast in the water the other day. Very impressive to watch, and she's very impressive in the C1. A little bit stuck in gate 12 there, but she had a bit of pace on everyone at the top there.
Well, another 2 seconds, but never panics with big water. When there's a challenge, she just holds a moment and waits for something to happen.
Yeah, that's definitely going to help her on the course today. Lots of stopper crosses. So she's 4 seconds down, so those penalties have hurt her. So her running time's only 0.35 down on Jessica Fox, but the penalties have pushed her back a little bit.
Well, bad news for you. It's either going to be Woods or Lawrence in the final. Ooh.
That's a...
Well, another 2 seconds, but she is still fast. She's very fast.
Looks like she's going to go for the direct option.
Well, she plays off, one of the first girls to go for that. She's going to go in the final. Unfortunately, Ros Lawrence is going to miss out, but the Brits want this. It's going to be the third British competitor to go through, and she was very fast, even with all the problems she had, and she's hurting a little bit. I wonder what that's from.
Looks like she's maybe hurt a hand or something.
But it was amazing that she's in agony, but still manages to wave.
Yeah.
That's, I'm not sure that's the wise thing to do, but that's the reaction, is thank the crowd. Well, we do now have, unless there's going to be appeals out, I don't see any asterisks on my screen, so it's looking that we do have the 10 competitors, and Kira Kube takes the 10th place. Agony goes to Ros Lawrence, as she's just missed out on the final. That's a bit of a surprise, but the 10 to go through. Well, we'll have confirmation in a minute. Let's just have a few slow-mos. Well, let's see what we have now. The classification is, as we've just called it, these are the 10 athletes who made it through to the final. As you can see, if you can read, it's Australia, Spain, Germany, Czech, Brazil, Australia, Spain, Britain, and Germany. Jessica Fox is looking awesome, but Nuria Villarubla is right behind her with Kimberly Woods, still in the business. This is going to happen in about an hour and a half's time. Now, it's a really busy morning. We saw the C1 men. Then we got to see the C1 women, and now we're going for the K1 men. We had Ethan Hodson, who is a C1 specialist and C2 specialist. Thanks very much. He's now gone off to see family and friends. He's got a busy day. We have some K1 specialists in here. We do have the lady who possibly had the biggest roar yesterday. Nothing ends up perfect unless it's how many people appreciate you. Fiona Penny, hi.
Hello.
And we have a pretty much resident commentator here. It's Aaron Mann from the USA.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Pleasure always. We will, if we have to break off and look at the list, but there's going to be 40 athletes going down. Fiona, you've been on course. You know how the pressure is. What's going to be going through their minds?
I mean, obviously the Olympic places for each country is up for grabs, so there's a bit of pressure on them from their country, probably. But yeah, the course is really hard, so for them, they'll be just thinking about how they're going to get down this course and get around the gates cleanly, which seems to be quite a key thing.
Well, if you're looking at the screen, we won't state the blatantly obvious apart from saying it's an absolute lovely day here. The flags are slightly breezy, there's a bit of a crosswind, but crucially the poles are down. It's the same course that we had yesterday. Aaron, you were with me quite a lot of the day yesterday, so you saw where the crucial challenges are. What will be the challenges today?
Really, as you said, the same as yesterday, making sure you keep your speed out of the upstreams and you're running everything through. Especially at the two main drops up at gate 11 and 12 and down at gate 20. Those spots, you really need to make sure you're coming in with speed and carrying that same speed out through the crossings.
And also, Aaron, the gate number 3, now I was speaking to Thomas Schmid yesterday, and I said, why did you design it so difficultly? He said, I didn't. All they had to do was go a bit wider on gate number 2, and they'd have come around it. But they all saw the same thing, so do you think the men would have learnt?
I would hope so. I don't know. Fiona, you probably have some better insight on the approach to 3 because I've only seen it from the sideline, not straight on the course.
Yeah, gate 3, the inside pole yesterday, so what's the river right pole, was quite low. So to come down on it from the angle that gate 2 was made it quite difficult, and you had to forcibly make sure you stayed wide away from the gate and actually take a very wide line around the gate. And also, just above the gate line, the water's actually banking down on it, so it's very hard for you to get the boat onto the pole cleanly, because actually above the gate, your bow is almost above the height of the gate.
Yeah, especially, I guess, in the K1 men's class where people want to be cutting the lines, coming in there and real high and tight, you're not only risking hitting the pole, but missing the gate entirely.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they don't want to be putting too much of their neck underneath that gate because they can't risk it at this level.
Well, let's see what's going to happen. It's 40 athletes come through. We have maybe a star of the future. We've seen his sister in action. It's Mario Ledner, who I believe is still at school. Summer holidays coming to an end, and let's see how he goes. And he is a superstar of the future.
Yeah, Mario's been paddling quite well this year and beat out Helmut Oblinger, who's been there a long time, the top K1 men. So.
Yeah, Mario loves this course. He actually stayed at my house some part of the summer whilst he was here training, and he absolutely loves it. He had a bit of an unfortunate incident with the airline on the last training camp where his boat was actually folded in half, but now he's got a brand new boat and he looks to be having a good start to this run.
And this is why we have the athletes as commentators, because they don't stay at my house.
Yeah, it looks like he picked up a touch up there on gate 9 after he absolutely destroyed gate 8, which is a little unfortunate, but he seems to be holding together moving on down.
Yeah, he just needs to put that touch behind him now and keep his focus on the rest of the course. There's a lot to come up ahead of him now.
Yeah, down here there seems to be, that not quite what he wanted, but still pulled it off pretty nicely. But down here seems to be where all the times won and lost in the race thus far.
Yeah, Mario was taking a risk there on gate 16. It does seem that a few of the poles are a little higher than they were for us yesterday, and 16 seems to be one of those ones that they can get in around under, as is gate 20.
It'll be interesting to see as the day wears on with the sun out if the poles start dropping due to, you took another touch there on gate 21. The poles start dropping due to the heat, because the heat ends up causing the wires to expand, and then everything gets a little bit lower.
You like that theory, don't you? You always talk about that.
It's true.
With the fact that we have chains, does that actually make it?
Well, it's the cross wires are actually the thing that ends up sagging a little more. The chains and the ropes should keep it at a reasonable height, but no scientist.
Well, coming to you live course side, it is Kazuki Zawa, who has surprised a lot of people, because as a history, if you look at his bio, it's not that full.
No.
Yeah, he'll be looking to do his best run that he can here to try and qualify a spot for Japan. They had a good result yesterday in the rugby, so maybe the luck's with them.
We've already mentioned that, and it was an extraordinary performance. Japan having the courage to go for the try. Let's see how they can go here. I actually mentioned it. I watched it and came downstairs for breakfast for supper yesterday, and the Japan team were like, "Oh, really? Wow! Here we go."
He's a little bit back at that first split, but I guess it's negligible because he didn't have the same touch as Leitner did in beat 9, so it's about even.
It was a nice cross. He seems to be just taking his time nicely, which is what you need to do in this section of the course.
Patient, put your strokes in the right place.
Yeah, just coming over the right side of that stopper and keeping his bow dry.
Yeah, staying dry and staying on top is key here as well, because all that little bit of speed that you lose, and you're trying to reaccelerate. That's energy that you've wasted. You're not getting back.
There's something about the strength and depth of Japan, because it's his first World Championships. As far as I can see, he has never been in a World Cup. Are there lots of hidden athletes out there?
I'm not sure, so I guess the answer is probably yes. No, they've really been, as Fiona said, they've been here a lot. They've really been focusing on these World Championships and getting themselves spots.
Well, coming over the line to take initial first place.
Solid run. I don't think that's going to be enough for the final. My guess is the K1 men will be somewhere down between 90 or 91. And up, now we have Swedish athlete Eric Polmer on the course.
So third of 40 competitors to go down.
Made it around 3 cleanly. A little stalled on the stern on the exit, but still it's all right.
Well, he's been in a lot of World Cups this season, hasn't managed to come through the heat so far, so this is new ground.
Yeah, he had a real solid race on Friday when I was talking to him after his run. But before I was taking off the doping control, he said he was pretty happy with how he's paddling here.
And you spent 3 hours of doping control.
Yeah, they took a lot of samples.
Well, he's 1.5 seconds up at the initial split, but it's very early days. After the next 2 competitors, we'll have a good idea of where we are.
Yeah, I think he actually lost some of that time he had gained up top when he caught his edge, but this crossing is really nice. It was really nice until right here, 13. Got a little caught up on the stopper.
Yeah, he was super tight around gate 12, up there, that upstream. Another bit where they can cut those poles today.
That's not Fiona, it's not really advantageous to be that tight around that pole, right? Because you want to carry that speed up for the crossing.
Indeed, but yeah, you want to go a little bit higher above the gate up the eddy for the exit. So with the men and their strength, they should be able to manage to cope to be that tight.
I don't know. I think you can lift more than me, so.
He's taking the tight line out of 20. They're not going up to the stopper so far.
Well, but has, unfortunately, very, very costly, potentially 2-second penalty. To be fair, he wasn't going his way, was it?
No, you can't put your stern down there. When you put with that water as bubbly as it is, as soon as you put the tail down, it pops the bow up, and you're just hoping that you get the bow back down before you go through the gate.
A serious client. Sebastian Schubert, very surprised that he actually goes this early, but it will give us an indication of what a top athlete hopefully can do.
Yeah, he incurred a 50-second penalty on his first heat run on Friday, which left him to go in the second run, so that's why he has the early start time.
An absolute flyer on his day. I remember seeing him in Augsburg a couple of years ago, taking the courts apart.
Yeah, this guy knows how to kayak. He's just been getting better and better every year. Made the final last year. Was a little disappointed with his result, but this year he's been all focused on the World Championship, so we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, as well as his German teammates, you can see there's a lot of the top K1 men running down with him. They'll be wanting to watch his lines and figure out what pulls they can go tightly around as well for their runs later on.
2.2 seconds up at the first split.
Yeah, keeping it clean, staying smooth.
He's very low there. He's come out a little bit too tight out of 11 and very low paid for it in gate 12.
Looks like he's given back his advantage.
Yeah, now he's having to spin. I'm 13, I'm sure he's not happy with that, but if anyone can pull hard to the finish, it's Shuby here.
Unfortunately, I don't think this will be enough for him to get into the final. A little bit too much time lost there on that top drop section.
Yeah. These drops will make or break you. Oh, and then a touch.
Well, he had a different tactic this year. He deliberately didn't go for a couple of events because he wanted to concentrate on training in London. It's not going to pay off.
Yeah, he's going to be disappointed with that touch, but he's still charging hard.
The athletes know they have, or the spectators, they know they have in the presence of a top athletes, but it's a nightmare run.
Yeah, and now he's paddling down right down that E-line there. It's not what Schubert was looking to do. He's going to be quite disappointed with this run, I have to say.
Well, let's say we can't lip read.
No.
Another outstanding athlete, Giovanni Di Gennaro from Italy.
Who I just found out is off gluten, which is shocking to hear about an Italian who doesn't eat pasta. But
Djokovic is off gluten as well, so it doesn't do you that much harm.
No,
In fact, it does you a lot of good if you have discipline. Let's see how he
Yeah.
goes.
One of the first four-style athletes we'll see out here today. Him and Daniele Momenti, they were both in the sport group. They have four-style. It's like the park rangers.
Well, 2.2 up.
That's really good. He's got really long arms, long levers. It's good on this kind of course where you want to have long strokes, just to take your time. And it looks like he might have quit gate 11. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait to see what the judges say there. Might have been a water touch.
He's cruising through this section. She said those long arms, just getting his arms out there and pulling ahead. And actually, he's one of the bigger athletes out here. You'll see sometimes they don't get on top of the water the same as some of the smaller guys, which doesn't really hurt them because they have the momentum from their weight.
Well, we see still 1.63 seconds up at the mid-stage.
And a smooth run thus far. Little boggle there.
A little bit tied up there at what we call the oval section. Going clean so far, so that movement I saw on the pole must have just been a water touch.
That's good.
Well, let's see how he attacks the last, and that's fast.
Yeah, he's flying down.
Well, this could be the first serious attempt, but it stumbled a little bit. Will get into first place, but will it be enough?
Might be close. He did lose a little bit there right at the finish, but you got to be happy with that run for the most part. He's not, clearly,
you can
but
see how it. And the first of our Swiss competitors, Lukas Wero, also has a brother who's not too bad from Basel. Let's see how they can go. And Michael Kurt was delighted with his run when we saw him just afterwards. Yes, he'll be going a little bit later.
Yeah, they really must have raised that pole in 3. We haven't seen anyone have any issues with it today.
Yeah, there seems to be a few gates actually, the upstreams, that they seem to be able to get under a lot easier. I wish it had been like that yesterday.
Well, all through the World Cup season, you have the advantage of seeing the men, and this time the men had the advantage of seeing you.
Yeah, indeed. Of course, they would have been learning lots from us.
But actually, they did. But
we learned how to not hit gate 3.
In the Olympics, which goes first?
It's the K1 men who go first in the Olympics.
Well, for whoever qualifies, that'll be fine. Let's see how they're going today.
Yeah, solid so far. Coming high for that crossing. Got a little bit into that stopper, but still it's all right.
That's a really good cross there. Just needs to hold his bows down here for the exit.
Yeah, putting that a little bit of downstream edge there seemed to get him stalled up, but still made the gates.
Yeah, he was a little bit stuck on the stopper, but it helped him, as you say, Aaron. And then, yeah, gate 14 had to work hard to get there.
Still people trying to neck that up.
Lucas is on the verge of greatness. He makes 1 or maybe 2 finals this season. Just needs to make it through. But what happened there?
I think he was just a little bit too wide. He came through 17 and he was a little bit too wide on the stopper, and then he just got a bit stuck. I mean, his bows were like horizontal across the river, and the stopper held him up.
I have the impression that anything like that, 2 or 3 seconds off, and it's game over at this level.
Absolutely. The places like that where you feel like you want to finesse it and do something bouncing around. Sometimes you just have to take the water in the gut and do it right. Do it more straight.
Next up is Boris Neveu, who
shocking to be going this early too.
Maybe, but he's one of the world's top paddlers. He won the Worlds last year. Let's see how he goes. Emily Fair, who's in the same training camp, didn't make the final yesterday. They'll have had a chat certainly afterwards and see how Boris goes. And he won in Po, I believe, a couple of weeks, 4 weeks ago now.
No, in Po he didn't make the final. He won the
European champion this year, world champion last year, and I do believe.
Yeah, he won in Sao, didn't he? And actually didn't make the final in Po. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, let's see how he's going.
That's solid so far.
I do believe that if he was to win today, he will automatically get the Rio spot for France.
Which would be quite nice for him, because the French team is not an easy one to make.
Exactly that. There's always tough competition in their selection series.
Well, let's see. It's been early days. Yeah, he's certainly capable of winning.
Yeah, he's quite familiar with this course, and the style is really good for this type of water.
Well, 2.95 seconds up as we speak.
Even with that little bobble up top, that's pretty impressive. So you can see there too, he put his bow right into that stopper to use him to bounce him over. He's not trying to just go gingerly around.
Well, the Frenchies can't do better than last year. Let's see how they actually perform this year.
Yeah, he's going for a very tight line out of 20. He's got to work hard to get to 21.
Wow. Oh, a touch on the 21.
That's going to be very costly towards his bid to regain the championship.
Yeah.
Well, that is going to come over the line in probably second place, or first place. But there's huge frustration there.
Yeah, that not only was the touch costly, but then having to really scramble over to get to gate 22, just his time bleeding away.
So he's wasted, what, 4 seconds there?
Yeah, it's uncharacteristic for him to go for that tight line. Maybe just lost his head, a bit ahead of it there, coming out of gate 20, and just decided to come out a little too tight.
Really got to respect the exits out of these upstreams.
Well, so far we've had 2 of the world's top athletes, Sebastian Schubert and Boris Neveu, down. Boris is leading, but it's not what they want.
Yeah, definitely not the run he wanted, but still finished to put himself in position to maybe advance.
Andrej Malek from Slovakia. You can always tell a Slovakia paddler because we have the 50 or so very loud Slovakia fans just next to us.
Yeah, seriously.
If it's not a British boat coming down, it's obviously a Slovak boat.
At least they don't have the air raid horn out. A little more than a half second back on that sport. A very nice crossing.
Nice to do that all the way on one stroke.
Oh. Still got himself across. You'll see when athletes put their downstream edge down when they exit out of 12, their bow will pop up.
Well, he's slightly down, it's a bit worrying.
Yeah, just got to hang in there and hold together through this bottom section. A little bobble there, and
Oh, he's really got held up in that stopper at probably oval between 17 and 18. That'll be costly.
Was a little late there and tried to make it up by pushing into the hole a little bit more, and that was a real tight line, and it looks like the judges are throwing a 50-second penalty up on gate 20.
That's what it's showing. The Slovakians don't realise that. They're giving him unconditional support.
Oh, he's going to have to go back to gate 22. I'll see from here.
It's falling apart.
Yeah. But when you're that tired at the end of a run, it really just starts unraveling fast.
Well, it's not only qualification for the final that's crucial here, it's also the top 15 nations claim an automatic place to go to Rio. It doesn't book your place unless you're Boris Neveu, who clearly won't win the gold, I don't think, but it's It's very, very important to claim that top spot. Here we go, it's Igor Svilit from Ukraine.
He was smoking in the second rounds of heats on Friday.
So he's fallen victim to that gate 3 though, and so come in a little bit too tight there. He'll just now be hoping to hold the rest of the run together. He's actually, with that touch, time-wise, he's quicker on that split.
First World Championships, first year in this level, and so far made 1 semi-final and 2 heats. So he's, it'll be amazing if he can come through at this level.
Yeah, qualified the Ukraine spot. Unfortunately, their girl yesterday had a issue in boat control and was knocked out of any chance to get a quota spot at this event. She was disqualified. But see if he can pull one out for Ukraine. 4.5 seconds back.
He's keeping his head in the game. I say that, and he's just took that a bit tightly. See what the judges say. Might have got away with it, in which case it was actually probably quite a quick line.
Yeah, just looking upstream at the judges right there, looked like they indicated clean, but we'll see what the video review says as well.
Oh, this is going to be late to 22. He's got to fight really hard over here to the finish.
So he comes forward at the end. You initially go in the top 10 by 3rd place, but there's so many top athletes that go through afterwards. It would be surprising if he goes through.
Yeah, it's going to be quite difficult.
If you make it through to the Polish team, you are fast. See how we can go here.
Oh, it's quite quick. Mashek, sorry.
So we have a portrait to go a bit later.
Yeah, it's training partner.
Yeah, there's only one Polacek in the K1 men's team this year, surprisingly.
It's been a while.
Mathieu was feeling lonely. He said it's really weird because he has 3 brothers and 2 sisters, and obviously the family firm, and his brother's a coach, and it's a legendary family. But let's see how he's going. Flies over that.
Yeah, he's really been cutting the lines up top, like holding everything together nicely. He pushes hard.
As an insider, what are you seeing?
He took quite a high line there.
Oh!
Gate 12, and it looked like he was doing well, but as a result, he actually didn't manage to slow the boat down at gate 30 and get that turn, so he had to really turn it on the knife edge and the tail there.
Well, 2 seconds off. He looks like it's a bit of a rodeo run.
Yeah, he's just charging hard, and as a result, it seems like he's running out of gas a little bit down here at the bottom, but we'll see how it goes.
He's done really well there, throwing gate 17 and 18, like, flew through there.
And here's the move that's been giving everyone troubles.
It's very high out of there, but holding on tight, got the boat turned underneath the pole.
Yeah, she set him
Well,
up
this
just
is
to
the most
sprint to the
exciting
finish.
run we've had so far. He's going to go into 1st place, but will it be enough?
Ooh, he
Well,
really.
He looks like he's had fun.
Yeah, I mean, 16 to the finish, he really picked it up, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Yeah, he's pleased with that. I mean, a lot of mistakes will be going on today, and it's just minimizing those mistakes.
Martin Halshin. We're going to have more noise again from the Slovakians, and he's put some wonderful runs through this season so far.
Yeah, he's a very smooth, nice paddler.
Krakow, he came 2nd.
Oh, touch on 3.
But it's weird. For us commentating, it's weird. Time and time again, the athletes doing it.
Yeah, what's the definition of insanity? Trying the same thing and expecting different results?
Yeah, yesterday, even in the final, I knew I had to take the bows around gate 3, like I'd done it in the semi-final. I knew where the pole was, but just coming down to it so on top from gate 2, it's hard to keep away from that pole.
Just you see that window, you think you've got it, and you know, pops right up. That's real smooth right there through 11.
It's a little bit held up on the cross, but
Carrying good speed out of 12, which is important.
yeah.
Kept his boat nice and flat there, which kept the speed running.
30 competitors to go. We've had the top 10. The time to go for the top is 93.94. Still not guaranteed to qualify, but we're having a cracking run from Halshin. He's slightly off the pace though.
Yeah, he just carried a lot of speed out of that up though, so we'll see how this bomb goes.
He cut 16 very finely, but the judges gave it a clean, so all good so far. This course is really physical. Martin's someone who can hit it down, just keeps on powering down the course.
He picked up a touch on gate 20 as well. The entrance,
And he's really struggling.
Yeah, put that downstream edge down on the exit out of 20, which said makes your bow pop up. As somebody who's made that mistake constantly in training, I know the feeling. Disappointment.
It can be a cruel sport, looking at the emotions when they come over the line. Fiona, I don't know what you said, but you looked in agony when you came over the line yesterday.
My arms were in agony. Yeah, coming out of gate 20, I knew I was going to struggle with the arms there. Like, I had to push hard, and I was in a lot of pain at the finish, emotionally and physically.
Thank you for taking the trouble to bounce back and come and see us today. Sebastian Combo, 2007 world champion, didn't compete in Poe because he was organising it on his bicycle all the time, but he's a top competitor, and clearly he's, I believe, the silver medalist from Deep Creek last year.
Yeah, I remember seeing him at the finish line after that run. He couldn't have been happier.
He took a very wide line around gate 3, but actually, it can be quicker because he took the boat all the way to the back wall and then used the backflow in the eddy to carry him up through 3 with a lot of speed.
As you see, is flat on the split.
Very tight line to 11. Goes down. It's good.
Going low.
It's a very tight line as well.
The French really have control of their boat on the stern. They know how to paddle. They know how to paddle, and they get that stuff under there, and they're just very disciplined paddlers.
It looks to be pushing hard, but keeping the boat very dry at the same time.
That was very nice.
Well, he's still very much in touch. Will need probably to go faster than anyone before to actually guarantee himself a place in the final. We still have 29 competitors to go.
Not touching the poles, he's really doing himself a favor as he makes his finals bid.
Yeah, he's not been cutting any lines too finely. Like, he's going around the upstreams, very nice. Oh, that's beautifully done there. He just needs to push hard though to 22 now.
Well, it looks like it's the first solid run of the day.
Is he going to get an hour?
Well, and he moves into second, but he's happy. Well, it's all about coming in the top 15 nations.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be happy because he knew there that he's put in a very solid run and just needs to do the job.
Well, this is yours, Fiona. Richard Hounslow didn't do as well as he could have hoped in the C2.
Yeah, the boys were disappointed with the result yesterday in the C2. They were looking to pick up some bonus points, or good bonus points for the Olympic selection. But today he's just focused on the kayak. Unusual for him, getting to do the kayak second. Usually the kayak comes first and then he has to refocus for the C2.
And your selections are here just after the Worlds, aren't they?
Indeed, we got selection for the Olympics in 5 weeks' time now at the end of October. So it'll be tight racing.
Well, half a second up at the split. Clearly knows the course as well as anyone.
Yeah, you can see the confidence on his face as he's paddling down.
Yeah, Rich is a very smooth paddler. I mean, he actually looks like he's pushing hard today. It's a physical course, but a lot of the time when he paddles, he doesn't look like he's putting in much effort, but those arms are pulling hard.
Well, early stages, looks like he's in control of this race.
Yeah, it looks like he got himself in a nice early rhythm and is just continuing on.
Yeah, Rich's style will be good for this course, just keeping it solid. It's the kind of paddler he is.
Ooh.
Well, it's time to make up at the end, and we saw he's taking a 2-second penalty. That's going to hurt.
Yeah, like on the pivot there, his bow just came up into the river left pole. I fell victim to that yesterday in the final. I don't know how to do this move.
Let's get this crossing.
Just held it enough just to be able to whip it around.
This is important. It's not going to win, but can he be enough for qualification? Probably not.
Oh, that touch was costly.
Thanks to British fans, they were on their feet there, very loud.
First Chinese paddler of the day up next. We're young.
Well, that's the crowd are certainly up for it, aren't they? They no excuses there. They really
Yeah, they're out in force today.
Yeah, great sunny day. Contrast to what we had in qualifying, where the rain was throwing it down. So it's great to see the sun out.
Well, taken out gate number 3.
Yeah, that's
Gate number 5, sorry.
so. It's not a hitting outside pole on that gate is already a bad sign. There's a major late coming in there. I guess the split reflects that as well.
So it's difficult when you're 4 seconds back to really push forward and take charge.
Yeah, but on this kind of course, you know that anything can happen, like down the course. And as a paddler on the start line, unless you've been watching and listening to what's going on in the big screen, then you don't know what's happened for you. So to push hard all the way to the bottom, just keep your focus all the way to the bottom, because you never know what it'll do.
Yes. Ooh.
Another couple of seconds goes away. It's going to be about 7 seconds off the pace at the moment, and the first 5 athletes were within 2 seconds of each other.
And he took a touch on 18, it looks like. That's
2 more seconds. This is not going to be the day for China.
He went for the jump stroke there on gate 17, and then just
Is that a smile on his face coming over?
no, it looked like it was irritation from hitting gate 20 to 21 with his back, but
good cheer there.
yeah, teammates running him down all the way.
Adachi from Japan next to go.
Well, the Japanese in the semi-final.
Not sure he's made that many finals in the World Cup. This season he's made a couple of heats and a couple of semis.
That's pretty casual, up 3. And then again, another touch on the outside pole on 5.
Yeah, that outside pole on gate 5 looks to be still quite low, like it was yesterday. A lot of girls were choosing, and myself included, choosing to take a spin on gate 5 just to take out the complication of trying to move forward, trying to keep the bows away from that river left pole.
Even if it was a little higher, it looked like he pool cued it, so it's just hard to avoid either way if the bow's up like that.
Yeah, indeed.
That's a nice crossing.
So the fact that they're going today, will they have been on the video yesterday analysing what the competitors have gone before?
For sure. I mean, the demonstration runs that we had on Friday night, they would have been watching the video from that. There was the K1 men in that for them to watch. Taking a touchdown at 17.
Well, 2 more touches there. It's going to be very costly. It's not going to threaten the leaders, unfortunately.
He'll be annoyed with that. Just his plan coming a bit unstuck there in 17 and 18.
Yeah, now the goal is just to get a decent run and get yourself in the top 15 nations here.
And if you look at his bib, number 45 indicates that it's currently the 45 ranked competitor in the world, so it's not really surprising. It's good that he's made the semi-final, but it's not going to trouble the actual leaders.
Yeah, he will be watching the video, as I say, and then watching the girls yesterday, as will all of them, I'm sure, just to learn some things.
Pavel Eigel next to go for Russia so far this season. He's done 4 World Cups, made 3 semis and a heat, so he'll be hoping for some better luck.
Pavel can be fast on his day, so he's not one to forget about, that's for sure.
Yeah, they have his coach knows how to win, and Johnny Chatin, very successful French paddler.
Indeed.
That might still be an understatement.
Well, 2 seconds off, but just giving it back after hitting the post.
Yeah, that's not. I guess you don't want to hit any of the gates, but that's not a gate to hit.
Was I mistaken?
It's not come up yet, so it might have been a water touch. When the water hits the gate from water splashing off your boat or your paddles or even indeed your body, then it isn't actually judged to be a 2-second penalty. You're allowed to have that happen.
And actually, those little numbers you can see on the gate poles are there for the judge's benefit. So if you touch the pole with water, generally it just swings. But if you touch it with your body, it actually twists as well as it swings. So that helps them see whether it was a
2 seconds up, which is looking promising.
I don't think that was a water touch.
He's been very lucky with the water now. It has come off, so it's given the lead back. He's now even, needs to really push forward. As I say, the top 4 athletes are within a second of each other.
Doing this solidly is going to make a big difference, and that's...
It's just on second wave there.
Good
Lost
save.
the momentum.
Good save until he put his stern down.
Well, coming over the line, it's going to be 93, 94. Where's he going to be? In 5th place. But it's crucially... Well, it's only a second and a half off the lead, but that could make a huge difference.
Marcel Petrucci, who's been here coaching the Chinese as well as competing. Paddle on a familiar boat, Vavra Fradilik's old boat.
Well, that might bring you luck. Vavra, obviously the world champion from 2013, didn't compete due to injury. At his own level last year.
He's a paddler formerly from Slovakia.
That was actually very nice.
Paddling for Hungary and going now to try and get a spot at the Olympics.
Yeah, it's
top 15 nations, so forget about making the final. You have to be in the top 15 nations.
It's crucial.
He's very much in touch.
Yeah, then he just took a touch there in gate 9.
That was what I would call a cheap touch there, just lost his focus on the pole, was looking ahead probably to what he had to do in the drop, and that just allowed the bow to come up into the gate.
The bow a little stopped up there, but controlling it well. It's very crucial for the European nations to be in the top 15 here, because qualifying a spot at Euros is quite hard.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, it's such a European-dominated sport to be able to then go for a spot at the Europeans is very hard to make just a few remaining places.
Changes what pressure's on you for the rest of the year, whether you're worried about qualifying an Olympic spot or worried about trying to go to the Olympics.
Well, Hungary dominate canoe sprint. See how they can do in canoe slalom.
It's a bit off in the time already, even though he's
avoids the touch, but lost a bit of space.
Yeah, never want to be waiting like that for a gate, but it all proved a little costly for him.
No, that's not the dream.
I mean, even without his touch right now, he wouldn't have been too many places further up. Yeah, he'd be annoyed with that.
Well, someone who took the course apart at Litovsky, Mathieu Biazizou, with some well-known supporters cheering him on.
Bronze medalist from last year's Worlds.
And is capable on his day of absolutely flying.
He really went for the hard line there, trying to put the bows in completely above the gate and just get his neck around the gate. And unfortunately, that back flow is really hard to push the boat against, and he was getting caught up around the inside pole and lost him some time.
It's so tempting to do that, but it really just never works out well.
Well, despite the acrobatics, he's 1.45 seconds down. He needs to be ahead.
He's a really efficient paddler. He always seems to hold himself up very strongly.
That's more like it.
Yeah, that looks more like him.
That's the best 11 we've seen so far today.
Really, really smooth crossing until here. He got a little stopped up, but sets him up now at least to be able to paddle hard through these next few gates.
Yeah, coming out gate 12 there, I thought he was going to be coming out a bit too tight, and he did get a little held up, but he managed to get away with it. Some of his experiences managed to...
Well, it's pulling back the clock. It's so tight with the top 6 or 7 boats that you need to be ahead of 93 to actually put yourself a chance of qualification. There's still 15, 16 boats to go.
Yeah.
He's doing this run like on a knife edge, cutting everything so finely.
I suppose after gate number 3, he had really no choice. Oh, no!
Get up, get up.
Okay. Bob, is that okay?
That's okay. He was up just before the gate.
Come on, force through. The crowd love it. Will it be enough?
That
was
roll.
almost brilliant. But
that was drama. yeah, unfortunately just leant over the boat a bit too far coming out of gate 20, sorry, and tripped over himself really, and did so well just to come up just in time.
Look at that paddle awareness when he gets up to see we're looking for the gate poles immediately and making sure not to hit it with that left blade.
Yeah.
Andrea Romeo, who in, I think, Tachin a couple of years ago, he medaled. He had a great run but slight inconsistency.
Yeah. Last summer in Tachin, he had a medal at the World Cup there. He's a strong paddler, as all the Italians are, but some ups and downs this year. He's had some neck injuries. He really held him back. Still up on the split though, about 0.6.
Well, no one's taken the course apart on the whole run yet. You could patch a few bits together, but no one's really dominated.
I don't know if it's nerves for Worlds or nerves about getting to the Olympics or what, but it just seems like people are a little tentative in a lot of places. People that you don't expect it from.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough course, so, and having watched the girls yesterday and the C2s, they'll know that, you know, anything can happen. They just have to be a little bit careful around some of these gates.
It just seemed to, yeah, he's still up.
Well, he's putting together a good run, 1.12 seconds up.
Andrea's quite a light paddler, so the strength to weight ratio that he has over this course is probably doing him good stead.
See how he does this last move. We've seen is costing people some trouble.
Oh, he's done well there.
It's good.
Really
That's
well.
what you want to do. The leading time, as you can see, is 93.94. It's going to be well within that.
He's got it.
That's a brilliant run there from Andrea. So,
And he knows it. Goes into first place.
2 weeks ago when he couldn't even get on the water because his neck hurt so much, he's got to be happy to put something like that together.
Andre Tanka takes the third spot in the Czech team. Vic Prindis was injured, so couldn't do himself proud, but here we go. And Tanka's had some really good results so far this year.
Yeah, top 3 at the World Cup overall. He's a very consistent, solid paddler.
I'm seeing an asterisk next to Richard Hounsrow. If 2 seconds comes off, that would put him into third or fourth place.
Might still be outside the cut, but not in terms of Olympic spots.
Still half the field are still to go. So,
and we see them each time they're down to a different level of paddler now. They're all shaving it a bit off.
Yeah, Tunka gave some of that back in the upstream there, but still pressing on hard. That was really nice.
yeah, there's a lot of risks being taken on the course.
That was just perfect. Yeah, risk reward.
Indeed.
Well, he's putting forward a lovely run here.
Yeah, he should be up right here.
Well, 1.83 up, so he's consolidated before and moved it ahead a little bit.
Yeah, just staying between the gate poles now, not ducking too much, keeping the boat running.
Will this be a tactic to say I've consolidated what I need to do and let's keep a clean run?
Yeah. Well, now I think he'll still stick to plan. If he had planned to cut something, he'll probably still do it.
This is where we've seen a lot of things happen. That's good.
Yeah, that was real nice.
Yeah, he took a slightly lower line and then went to the bounce off the second wave.
You can have a new leader.
Yeah, by a lot. Wow.
And the risk that he took on the top drop there certainly paid off.
If
This is what we'd expect, I guess. The last 2 athletes have taken off over 4.5 seconds from the rest.
if that's not good enough for the final, I'd be shocked.
Czechs had a nightmare yesterday in the C2. Let's see how they can go now. Bit more noise from us. Next door, Yakov Gri, 18 years old. Sorry, he's not 18 years old. Yes, he is.
I was going to say, yeah, he is.
He just turned 19 but 18. Look at his power going into the first bit. Oh!
Just getting greedy in gate 3.
Yeah, the inexperience maybe a little bit showing there.
If he can keep that rate up to the end, he's going to have massive lungs.
Ooh, a little bit on the stern there, but see how much that touch cost him at the top.
He's the junior world champion. 1.67 off the pace.
He's had some great results as a junior and already showing that he can compete on the senior stage.
Oh no, don't go that low. Oh, it worked out okay.
Well,
Maybe not.
taking a huge amount of risk.
Yeah, really cut the line on gate 12 and really messed him up on the exit there.
4 seconds of penalties, but 1.3 down, so he's made up 3 seconds somewhere. He's flying.
Guess those tight lines and those upstreams really paid off.
Yeah, be interesting to see if he can hold this straight all the way to the bottom. You see he's pushing really hard.
Just keep your composure.
Wow, he's really going for it.
Yeah.
This is something special.
Oh.
2 seconds is going to be really costly.
I thought he'd taken quite a
This is going to be a stupid fast run.
conservative line there, but
89.
Like you mentioned, lack of experience.
yeah, lack of experience maybe on the senior stage, but I mean he's still really young and like he'll learn from that and take it forward to, I'm sure, some exciting times ahead.
Well, move on 12 years, and it's Janos Petelin from Slovenia.
Yeah, Janos primarily was training with Kauser the past few years, and he's really paid off in his results.
Very touching this year, he won the world ranking tournament there.
He's a really nice, smooth paddler. Now primarily training in Po, where he's living with his fiancée.
The men are taking on gate 5 forwards. Unsurprisingly, you know, a lot of the girls were going for the spin in the end yesterday just to take the safer line, but there were some forwards going on. So
Back to normality, 2.3 seconds off, but the last 3 athletes have been absolutely flying.
Yeah, he's been a little off the whole run so far. A little low into 11.
getting a little bit held in that cross as well.
Carried some nice speed through 12. It's very tax this section. Stay on top of the water and the boat run.
Yeah, he's going for the solid run, it looks like. He's not taking any risks.
Reflects in the split. 5 seconds back. That was nice.
So he's not doing anything exciting, but he's putting together a good run, and vitally it's clean.
Well, that's it. Clean so far. He'll know that is what he needs to do. That looks like the judge signaled a touch there on gate 20.
Oh, that's early.
I didn't see it.
Well, coming over the line, it's going to be painful, that 2-second penalty. Well, moves him out of the action, and no, we can't believe it.
Yeah.
Goes into 11th place. Daniele Molmente, the Olympic champion on this course, a former world champion.
He's quite familiar with this place. Knows what you have to do to win here.
Yeah, Molente's sort of been a little bit in the background the last couple of years. He got married after the Olympics, he's got a baby now, and just starting to pull out the goods now, though.
Weighs slightly up, which is amazing at this early section.
Yeah, there wasn't much time to get off of Tunko, just crushed it. So let's see how he goes through these crossings here.
Molente's a very powerful paddler, so this course I'm sure will suit him well, especially that top section where you can just get going.
And clearly someone who thrives on the big occasion.
Yeah, see the focus in his eyes. Steely-eyed intensity.
Yeah, he's always an entertainer. He loves the crowd. He loves to.
Given a bit of time back, he was slightly up now. He's over second down.
Yeah, he lost it when he was having his boat bury through that last section. It just took some speed away, but somehow picked up a touch on 14.
Yeah, I didn't see that. That was the downstream after the drop. He just rushed it on his way past.
Oh.
Well, are we on the last split?
Yeah, it's not the run he wanted, even if they take rid of that touch, but yeah, he's a hockey fan saying puck.
Bradley Forbes Cryans, many people before tipped him for a big future And Fiona, tell us something about this young man.
Fellow Scot, so I think you'll see a lot of saltires being flown now, and a lot of Scottish people running down with him. Everyone's been very excited about his paddling of late. When he was younger, he was a bit of a crazy paddler. The boat was flying everywhere, and you didn't really know what was going to happen next. But he's now coached by.
Well, look at. Sorry, go on.
Now coached by Mark Demenjo, and his paddling's definitely calmed down a little bit. Takes it in stride.
That was really nice to that offset there, 5-6.
He took the touch on gate 3, and then he just got ahead of himself, I think, there on that downstream.
Yeah.
And we'll know he has 4 seconds of penalties. That's going to be tough at this level. The top 4 so far have all gone clean.
Yeah, being clean is quite important to pressing on into that final. That's
Well,
very
there's
nice
going to be
crossing.
lots of noise.
Yeah, Bradley's now been training down here for the last year or so, and he now knows the course, he knows how to tame it.
Is that what it's all about, taming the course?
Yeah, I mean, the qualifying course was a little more straightforward, but this one definitely has a few more features in it.
Whereas the fastest down, however, unfortunately has 4 seconds to add on, so he's still 3 and a bit off the pace. Can he make it up?
He's just had to pull very hard out of gate 18 there on that stopper, so he's going to be hurting here on this last course.
Got set up to just sprint straight to the finish, so we'll see where he ends up.
Going. He needs to pull for all his life. Where's it going to be?
Get outside.
It's not going to be enough.
He's hurting in both ways, just like I was yesterday by the looks of it. Across that downstream that he under the bridge. I mean, the pole is a tricky one to get around on that wave, but
2008 Olympic champion, maybe the largest K1 paddler out there. It's Alexander Grimm from Germany.
Alex is a very strong paddler, and probably doesn't use his full range on those long arms that he has.
We're pushing off the wall in Australia this year, and I asked him why he doesn't extend his arm all the way, and he said he would break the wall. So,
Fair point.
as you can see, he doesn't need to stay on top of the water here. He can just power straight through it because he's got the strength and the weight to just drive
Well, it's not
on.
working yet. It's over 1.2 seconds down. Do you see why?
No, I mean, he looks like he went around gate 3 very solidly, as well as the upstream underneath the bridge, so you know, he's going for the solid run so far.
I'm actually surprised to see he has that GoPro mount on his helmet still. Clearly he's not ducking gates that tight that he has to be worried about catching that on the helmet.
Well, falling off a little bit of the pace now, 2.4 back.
That was real fast though. See, this is
That's really good there. Maybe not the fastest line we'll see for 17-18, but he got away from it very well.
this will be
Last
interesting.
crucial bit, and he's quite fast.
Yeah, for a paddler of his weight to be crushing it like this, it's really remarkable.
Needs to keep the power down. 89 to 1 to go for, but that was well ahead of enough. Could come to second place.
Up for second.
And punches the air. It looks like it's going to be enough for the quota place anyway.
Yeah, that takes some pressure off Hannes Agner, who will be coming down later.
Vavra, one of the largest personalities in the sport. Vavra Hadilek from the Czech Republic. Had an almost dream season, but we had a few problems in Po, and let's concentrate on the race.
Yeah, Vavra's refocused and ready to come out here and do something special.
Yeah, Vavra's been here training quite a lot this year. He came over quite a few times in the winter to train with Joe and myself. Probably was learning more from Joe than he was from me, to be fair. But
He's taking a touch on 3.
As so many of the top athletes have.
Yeah, yesterday it almost seemed like might as well just give everyone a touch there. It was all a level
We
playing
were
field.
discounting number 3, weren't we?
Yeah, it just was quite hard gate to get in between unless you went real low.
So Fiona, what do you see?
well, he looks like he's refocused from that as he can, and he's gone for a characteristic Fabra tight line on gate 12. I
But
think
11, there's another penalty and another penalty. He's going to have to make up 6 seconds.
It's a little bit off this whole run.
Fabra can be a very quick paddler, but I'm not so sure that he's going to be able to make it up from 3 gate touches.
For the
Yeah, he's clearly having fun now. They went to the crossbow right there out of 16.
Not saying it doesn't matter, but the Czechs have a quota place.
They do indeed, and he's just taking it very finely now, and even coming out of there super tight out of gate 20. He'll have to fight to 22.
Well, the great showman will put his hands in his air when he comes over the line.
I mean, that would those touches.
Yeah, it was a very quick run, and yeah, he knows how to paddle the water, Lee Valley, but unfortunately just those poles were in the way.
Argentina has a representative, Thomas Berzinger from Pole, representing
They're racing for Argentina now.
Knows more about the water than anyone else does. He's a PhD student in water quality.
So one guy coming down who knows a bunch about water, and then you had Grimm earlier who knows a bunch about water dynamics, so it's pretty interesting.
We have an appeal against the name of Daniele Monmenti, who at the moment is sitting in 7th position. But you know what's going on there.
Yeah, so far it looks like at least two of the Olympic medalists from 2012 in men's K1 might not be in the final here.
See how he goes, Thomas.
Put together a solid run, nothing spectacular so far. Just staying between the gate poles and trying to glide down nice and cleanly.
Table of fast run was 5th in Pope, but I guess that's where he's based with Kinepi team.
Was in the final last year too, and at the World Championships in Deep Creek.
Exactly, came 4th in fact. But he's 5 or 4. Oh, he's really struggling there. That's that. No, he's out of the game, unfortunately. Do you know what's happening?
Yeah, he came in 16 and just a bit too tight. I mean, I imagine he was going for the sweep underneath the gate, just trying to get in and out of there very quickly, but his bows were also upstream too much before he came in and got pushed away before he'd actually got to the gate.
Is it worth the risk reward there on sweeping that up?
I mean, you know, the exit for them won't be too hard to get to 17, so yeah, if you can press the bows in around the pole still and go for the sweep, then yeah.
Not today. Well, that's a shame.
This has no effect on Argentina qualifying an Olympic spot, as Berzinger doesn't have the citizenship, so he's not eligible to qualify on the quota spot.
Look at that precision. Next to go, it is the king, Peter Kauser. He ended up just winning the overall World Cup standings this year. Last year, as we all know, he put out his shoulder on the second drop. But he's a true champion.
Yeah. Returning to form, seeing him race in Po, looked like the Peter Kauser we all came to know. Let's see how he does here.
A few years ago, he was in a class of his own, it seemed like, and then everybody started to watch and learn from him, and they're all up there with him. It's so unfortunate to see him, painful to watch him last year, and to watch his journey back now.
He's very much in touch, though.
What he's used to is awesome.
He's just a nice, real smooth paddler. You watch that he can carry the speed through all his turns.
That's good.
Yeah, great boat control.
Oh, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, it made him a little late there as well, but he's back on track.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first 6 athletes have been clean. Where he's absorbed a little bit. It's 1.5 off the pace at the split.
Yeah, if anyone can gain that back, it's this guy here.
Yeah, he was lucky there. I mean, I could see, coming really tight of gate 12, he was going to make life a bit hard for himself in 13, and sure enough, he's lucky he got his head through the gate, and, if he can hold this together, it's all possible still.
Yeah, this is real nice and smooth through here.
Coming in front of us now, needs to put it down to qualify.
I don't know if he'll
It's
be
going to be very close.
Yeah, he'll be at 90. At 88.
Second place, Waves, not ecstatic, calculating whether that's going to be enough or not.
Yeah, it's a Kauser's always one of those fastest guys out there. He said in the past he used to come into races, have 3 touches, but have the fastest raw time by about 3 seconds. So
one of the fastest to one of the fittest, who has been on the world podium for the World Championships twice, I believe now. It's Maciej Polacek from Poland and also been an Olympic finalist.
Yeah, Polacek's definitely one of the strongest paddlers out here. If you ever if you don't ever don't have a car jack and you have a flat tire, he's the guy to get there to go lift it up.
Hasn't how the season is like so far. He was 5th in Krakow, 4th in Prague, and it's all fallen apart a bit.
Yeah, but I'm sure he's refocused and ready to have a nice result here, or try to have a nice result here.
It was a bit back though, isn't he? It's a bit back, 2.25 seconds off.
Yeah, he lost some in 5.6, but that upstream in 8 really will help him gain some of that back.
He's certainly someone who will have the arms left at the bottom of the course, that's for sure.
Fitness is never an issue with the Polacek family. Is that still lower out of that up than you'd like to come, Fiona?
Definitely. Yeah, I think, for us, we had to come a little bit higher just to be able to get the boat turned back for the 13-14 manoeuvre.
Well, he hasn't lost any pace, but he hasn't made any up.
Oh, that was just real quick on that sweep there. Still clear so far.
I saw a little bit of movement on 18, but I think it must have been a water touch.
Yeah, I didn't see the pole spinning very much.
Needs to be fast here, and he is fast. No, he's turned 2 penalties. That's going to hurt.
Yeah, this is going to put him on the bubble.
He's going to be regretting that as he comes over. It's 6th place, but
91 might have been close, but
goes into 6th place. So far, there's Andre Tunker is leading with 89.28 clear. Peter Cow's is 2nd. Alexander Grimm is in 3rd place. A lot of big names in the top 10. Juan Crespo from Spain next to go up.
Crespo's a really nice paddler to watch. Loves to do stuff on the stern, as you can see right there.
Taking a very tight line out of 3, actually, meaning he has to do a bit of a big turn there on 4. But he's back on it now, 5-6.
Be a little bit back in the split. Yeah, that E3 didn't do him any favors, but
I think the problem was 5 or 6 runners ago, we just had scintillating times, and now all the splits are looking normal.
People must have heard that also at the top, got the nerves going. Ooh. He just took a touch there. That was Yann, took a touch on 12. That's going to help his bid.
Well, these paddlers will know there's not so many boats to go after them now, and they know what's been going down before them probably, so there won't be so many risks being taken, I reckon. Now it'll be solid runs.
But we're soon going to find out the first qualifiers at 10 to go.
As you heard the announcers, they were talking about his teammate Samuel Hernandez, who had some issues with his paddle in the second round of the heats. He broke it, which was
he's been held up. He's been held up. It's not going to happen.
Well, he still got to the gates, didn't have to do a loop, which is all right.
It's going to ruin his day.
Yeah, now coming down the eddy there.
Incredible strength to hold on in that stopper there and not get flipped.
So what was at the end? The whole game is decided between 20 and 22 for all classes so far.
Yeah, it seems like you can have a great run going in there, but if you don't even do that and be your career level, then you're in trouble. And of course now Yuri Meglic racing for Azerbaijan, originally from Slovenia.
Again, hasn't been on fire so far this season. 3 semi-finals of the World Cups.
Yeah, it's not the season I'm sure you hope for, but gotta put that behind you and just go race another race.
1.87 back. So, what do you think, Fiona?
Yeah, going for that's a really good cross there. Nicely out of 12 now, making the line pretty simple for himself.
It's a little higher than the last few guys, huh?
Yeah, so yeah, he had to fight a little bit to 14 there, but keeping the run together now.
It's going to be like 4 seconds back, 3.5 seconds back.
Well, he's going to have to do something special to make up the seconds. At the moment, the 10th place is 5 seconds back, and that is Giovanni Di Gennaro. Paradilek has missed the cut. He's 11th at the moment.
I think that move there in 17-18 will just made it very difficult for him now. He got a little bit held up. He had to flatten the boat off to try and get released.
Yeah.
Just finishing it off now, keeping around the poles, nice and clean.
To put himself now, if it's not the final, at least in position to qualify in the Olympic spot.
Very much so. Goes into provisional, as you can see, 11th position. We should have our first qualifier with from counting. Now it's Dariusz Popiela, 30 years old, from Poland. Made the final in Prague.
Looking at the results here too, it looks as if they took off the touch of Daniele Momenti, so it moves him up into fifth position.
Well, it's looking good.
Popiela is also a real strong paddler. Saw him having a walk yesterday with his sports psychologist, who's renowned from Poland. Works with a lot of football teams.
Well, he's very much in touch.
Yeah, just pressing on. He's not a guy you see cutting the gates a ton. He just keeps the boat going and charges hard.
So no problems yet, Fiona.
No, he's putting in quite a solid run, I'd say. His dad will be sprinting down the bank, yelling at him probably, but
there's quite a few family members. I know that probably the most markables are the Florences. George sprints down all the way. It's 2.15 off, so he's left a little bit of time there.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's
left a little more there too.
Yeah, he was very wide in 17 there, and then gave himself a bit of work to do to get over to 18.
Can't get too fancy there.
Well, they have the Croatian Kosmetics Polacek so far in 6th, so that's okay.
Let's see if he gets this around.
No, it's fallen apart a little bit, I think.
Yeah, this is going to be enough for the final, but
Did a really good cross there from 20 to 21, but fortunately those mistakes further up aren't enough.
Just fall down. Andre Tonka has qualified for the final. Well, tell us about this chap.
Oh, Richard Powell. He's a space cadet. No, he's a good kid. He's been paddling pretty well this year. I think he's made every semifinal. He's at every major international race he's done this year. And he might not. He also sometimes doesn't look great in training, but he has a race head on him. He's a gamer, as we say. But that was not a smart touch there, Rich.
Yeah, it looked like he just came down a little bit. He was pointing a little bit too left, and then unfortunately took the pull out as he was starting to pull the boat around for the turn to gate 6.
A little tight on there. All right.
It's very tight up to the bollards there, meaning that he definitely had to come around gate 11.
Touch on 12.
And with your Pan Am performance, where's USA in qualifications?
So we already have a K1 spot from Pan Am's if we choose to accept it. If we also are in the top 50 nations here, then we will give that spot up as well as the one in C1 that Casey Eichfeld just got, and then use it on C2.
So it's looking promising for the USA. He's making some time up from his last split.
Yeah. Oh, I guess he didn't have a touch on 12. It looked like he popped it with his life jacket, but I guess I'm not going to do the judge's job for them.
Perhaps it had been a water touch.
Yeah, the life jacket looked a lot like water, but oh well. Well, keep it up.
There you go.
He's going to be disappointed, but this was a solid run from Ricky.
Crucially, goes into 17th. Are you calculating which nations are making it through?
Yeah, I'm just writing them down as they go, and then I'll start crossing them off, the ones that look like they're in some sort of position to get through.
One of the most exciting paddlers on the circuit is Yuri Priskovic, who changed his boat for the first time in many, many years this season.
Yeah, at least since I've seen him when he was a little kid, he was paddling the small Sting, the kid Sting. Now he's in the Salto. Woo. He told me if he's in the final, you better watch because he's going to put on a show. So.
Well, so far he's looking spectacular.
Yep, that's.
That was lightning through gate 5. Don't quite how he got around that pole.
Well up on the split.
Yeah, he's not or maybe not. 5.08 back. He's not afraid to go tight around those gate poles.
No, he does it every day, and he's very used to it. And I don't know about a show in the final, but he's certainly putting on a show already in the semi-final.
Yeah, if he's going to put on a show in the final, then I don't know what this is.
So this season he won in Prague by default.
Yeah, when Clark was disqualified for his boat weight.
Let's see, looks like he's putting together a good run. 1.5 seconds up.
Oh.
It's not a surprise. I mean, he's managed to get around those upstreams cleanly, but he's very wide on 17 to 18 there around stopper. He probably lost a little bit of that lead there.
But as we've seen, so long as he holds this together in these last 3 gates, put him in position to have a second run today.
Needs the cheers to keep him going.
He's right into stopper there and digging very deeply.
Wow.
I thought he was going to
take the lead though. He's take the lead.
I thought he was going to push himself past the gate there, but it didn't matter.
That's a wonderful show.
3 more hard strokes, he would have taken the lead, but I think he knew he was in good position.
You have to teach him where the cameras are.
Yeah. No, he's just looking up at his family. His mother's flown in, and I believe he's had some other family fly in, so all here to cheer him on.
Hannes Egner, Olympic medalist. Let's see how he goes. We're down to the real flyers.
Yeah, Hannes knows his course. Obviously medalled at the Olympics.
Juggles his studies with paddling.
Yeah, he was over here separately training away from the rest of the team, so the rest of the team came at other points, and he was here on his own at some points training.
A little bit back in the first split.
But there is space though, because we only have 3 qualified, and it looks like if you're 5 seconds off the pace, you should be okay.
Yeah. Not a bad run thus far. Hannes just sticking it between the gate poles, trying to just keep that boat running.
Wow.
Oh, it's a good save, and then he lifted the bow up there at the end.
Was that a plan B?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a bit tight out 12 there, and then you had to use the second wave to get over to the gate 13, and then unfortunately as he was spinning around, his bows came up and hit the pole.
He lost some more time in the next section where he just was not keeping his boat on top of the water. That's just speed, valuable speed that was key.
Well, as we saw, he was 6 seconds off at the splits. You have to do something amazing to make this.
And it's going to be remarkable if we end up having all 3 of these medalists not in the final here in the Olympics.
That's pretty good there at the finish.
Coming over, it needs to be less than probably about 93.
Yeah, it's not going to happen today for him.
Maybe too far outside.
No. Well, like you say, we know that Daniel Momenti at the moment sitting in 6th place. We have 4 qualified. Tunka, Priskovic, Kauser and Grimm. Jackson Merritt, who was put forward a scintillating run in his first round from Australia.
He's trimmed the beard for this race. Jackson was in the final in 2013 in Prague as well. Great performance, hit gate 3 on the exit.
He can put in some good runs, Jackson. He's often in the shadow of his teammate at Delfour.
It was the first time since 2011 that Delfour didn't come through the heats.
As that was shocking.
Well, he's down a little bit. He's fast.
Yeah, he's really coming for it today. Jumping in there nice and high. Oh, second touch.
Well, he's going to have to be spectacular now.
A little late here.
Australians are counting on him to make the quota place.
Yeah, they don't want it to come down to Oceania.
Well, it depends how Mike Dawson does, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and then they need enough nations there as well for that to be able to work as a
well, he's now it's still quick.
He's
with his 4-second pen, and it's stalled a bit there.
He got a little bit held up between 17 and 18. His wheel spinning a bit to get away.
It's hard to re-accelerate with your arms as lactic as they are at that point in the race too. Let's see how he does his bottom move.
Oh, he's gone for the surf. He's getting...
Came a little high up in there.
Yeah, a bit of a beating there.
Yeah.
This is not what we want. It's all gone wrong.
We'll be disappointed.
You have to do your count back, but he's 26th place. I'm relying on you, Aaron.
All right. Scroll down a little.
It's slow, so be careful.
That actually still keeps him.
Next to go is 21-year-old Simon Bruce. Was a top junior.
Yeah, the last of the Slovenian paddlers down. Another big, strong paddler, very tall, long levers. He's capable of controlling this course.
Yeah, he had a slow start to the season, but has really turned it on in this last bit, making the final in Po, leading the way in the heats in the semifinal. See if he can join his teammate Kauser in the final.
So far, Tanka, Priskovic, Kauser, Grim, and Romeo. So Romeo's made the final, so he's batting again above his level.
And that's gonna have to be happy. It's all cake after you make your world championship final.
Well, he's off the pace a little bit, but it's still open.
It's clean so far, so that's crucial. That will be helping him in his mind as well. He was tight in 16, so still right there.
Can he hold it together in the last 2-3 gates? This is a crucial bit. So Jackson Merrick's
taking a
really
very tight
stuck.
line. It's going to flick off the wave here, the second wave. It's just taking a touch.
Well, it could be painful.
That's going to be rather costly.
No, moves out of the top 10, and with that he would have still been out, I believe. Well, who else will be qualified? Daniele Monmenti's qualified now.
Oh.
Michael Kurt, who's been threatening to retire for the last 3 years.
Yeah, let's see if he. Last time Mike was doing a big race here, I see Pat and smile on the start. In the Olympics, he ended up breaking his paddle. So
He assured me it's not going to happen again. He said lightning never strikes in the same place. He has a wonderful website called I Believe in You, which is a crowdfunding for athletes. Check it out.
it's actually one of the successful ones.
In Switzerland. Here we go. He's capable of fast runs. Every few months he does a storming run, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a really nice paddler.
He's always very smooth. Keeps his weight at the front of the boat.
It's amazing to see how much his style's changed too. He used to look almost like Scott Shipley, fellow American in the old days, and now he's just still has that same arm reach, but really knows how to cut the lines now.
Well, he's
too.
very much in touch. He's 1.3 down. Needs to hold it together.
Yeah, see how he pulls this out.
It's, gone around 11, not choosing to take the risk.
Oh.
That's going to be expensive. He's
That's
been
a
on
very-
hundreds of events. Needs to hold it together.
Yeah, it was a silly touch there. It's his top blade when he did the bow rudder around gate 12.
Well, he's now 5 seconds off.
See how he pulls up his bottom. Still give him a shot at making sure he stays in those top 15
Not now.
nations.
No.
Gate 18.
It's all falling apart a bit, unfortunately.
He's given him a touch on gate 18. He just fell off around the side of the stopper on the way there.
It's all about taking the quota place now. Needs to be in the top 15 nations. Well, there's another one. A lot of the athletes, when they're tired, have been taking out the last skate. Pulling through, where's he going to turn up? 34th.
So it's just a matter of whether he's ahead of Slovakia right now.
Well, Michael Smedley, who helped you out in the Pan-European, Pan-American Games.
Yeah, he's really familiar with this place. He spent a lot of time here this year and just seems at home as he's paddling out here.
Sporting a very fine haircut now. He's gone blonde.
Yeah, I don't know why he decided to go that way, but it's whatever works. Real deep
On his day, he's very fast.
Yeah, smoking Smolin. Ooh, that was nice and tight.
1.37 up.
He's recently decided to go to put fins on the bottom of his boat too. So I don't know what that does or if it does anything, but it seems to be helping him. Very nice and smooth from there.
I can see Fiona Penny, the nerves are starting to mount. So Clark's up soon.
A little late there. Pulling together, staying on top of the water, which is really important through this section.
He's taking that really tight.
It's a little costly.
Cost him some time, went for the risk, and it didn't pay off.
Yeah, and then there too, going around, he ended up having to check his speed a little to make sure not to hit the left pole on 18. There he goes, if he can make his first senior world championship final.
But he's fast, isn't he?
Oh, jeez me.
He's getting away with it.
Telling the boat what to do. Needs to be less than 93.9.
Go. Yeah, he's good. Yes.
Oh, man, punches the air, and so does Michael Smolin. He realizes he's made the final.
Really happy for him. His mother flew over here to see this. He has his family in London up here.
Joe Clark, whose training partner is shaking next to us. Go Fiona.
Yeah, the pressure will be on Joe. He won't be feeling it though, but the riverbanks will be going very loud any second now.
You can just do what I do when I get nervous for people and talk way too much.
We don't need that. We need to concentrate. Keep your fingers crossed. Tell us what's going on though.
Joe knows this course well. He's done that move in Piccadilly and Gate 5 very well.
No, yeah, I was going to say exactly what you did. He knows this place. Watching him train out here with you, Fiona, it just seems so at home. So.
Well, it's a second off, crucially, which means he's still in touch. So keep repeating, you never lose on the first section.
No,
you never win, but you can lose it.
I was messaging him last night, and he knew that he just had to do something solid. He knew this course was hard. He's taking this very finely on Gate 13.
Was that too fine? Was that okay?
I'm waiting to see what the judges say. I think they're signalling clear, and he's had to fight very hard to get to 14.
Yeah.
Well, the crowd are on their feet.
He's gone into 16 a bit too tight. Looks like he's taking a touch.
He was 2 seconds back, and that's another
game.
No, Joe.
Is that a miss?
That's a 50.
No, it's game over.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you don't get your boat as well as your head in the gate line, then it's just to be a 50-second penalty. And there, Joe probably had his head in, but his boat wasn't in.
Looked like he got a little unnerved by that touch there, and just tried to cut it a little more than he needed to.
He'll be so angry with that. He was desperate to do well here. He knew he was capable of it. He can be so fast in this course in his day.
Yeah, he's too fast to do stuff like that. Still would have been within touch if he just had to cut that line.
Michael Dawson, who has the best attitude on the circuit and has done all sorts of things.
Yeah, Mike and I will be going to Angola after this for an expedition. So
Angola?
Yeah, Angola. We got that going.
Let's see how he manages to hold it together. It's pure pleasure for him.
Oh yeah. He's paddling real well out here. He just seems at home as well in the big water. He's going back to his boat he was paddling last year. Felt much more comfortable in it. I think it's showing with his results.
First Brit is 18th, so they don't need to worry about the quota place, but unfortunately no one makes it through the final.
Indeed, that's unfortunate after a great weekend so far, so many Brits in the finals.
C1s will make up for it with the medal, I'm sure. Yes. Oh.
Yeah, he just gate 12 there came out a little bit too tight. Unfortunately, fell off. He's having to use the second wave to get to 13, back to 14 now.
It's going to put him back at least 5 seconds or 6 seconds. More, actually.
No, he's well off the pace. It's not going to happen today.
Just to keep it clean down here through the end and make sure he puts himself in position to get himself an Olympic spot, but it looks like he took a touch on 16 on the entrance.
The Australians are going to be hoping he does well.
Yeah, they're going to need him to have a nice round. Strong finish.
It's probably the one time when opposing nations actually support each other.
Well, there's all the Australians and the certain Dutch lady and the New Zealand cheering him on. Where's he going to be? 28th. When you need to do some mathematics.
Yeah. I'll take a quick look. There's only one thing I need to check at the bottom, and then we'll know in a second. So.
Unfortunately, Mike's not made the final. He did such a great run there in qualifying. He was so pleased with it, but he'll definitely enjoy his run today. He loves the Lee Valley Whitewater course.
Well, that's a lot of big names have gone out. Quite a few have made it through, but look, we have 2 Olympic champions. There's a double world champion. There's a triple or double European champion. So there's a lot of big names through, but local favourites. Joe Clark didn't make it. Wow. Let's have a look at some slow motions for a few seconds.
Yeah, it's such a shame that the British can't perform in the final on their home water.
By my math, it looks like
Quickly, tell us who you think.
So by my math, it looks like New Zealand is the last country in. So it would be Poland, France, Italy, Russia, Czech, Germany, Slovenia, Great Britain, Russia, Azerbaijan, the U.S., Japan, New Zealand, Austria, and Slovakia.
Well, we'll actually confirm that. Yann has been quite a bright chap, so hopefully you're correct. Let's look at the classifications of the finalists, semi-finalists. These are the finalists who are going to go in reverse order. It's going to be Tunka, Priskovic, Kauza, Grimm, Melmenti, Smolin, Polacek, and I didn't see the last couple.
Yeah, it looks like that touch in the end for Neveu was just enough to keep him out of defending this championship. So 2 pole.
At the bottom we have
Polacek, and then
Sebastian Combo. So there is a Frenchie in the final. Yeah, a lot of disappointed people out there. The audience are going to be disappointed. So quick wrap up. Fiona, it's a roller coaster for you.
Yeah, I mean, talking to Joe last night, he said if he was to medal, you expected me to be jumping in the water with him. So
that was a criteria of you coming to do the commentating. I gave you permission, so unfortunately we'll have to see you again in an hour or so's time. Evan, thanks very much. We're going to go off the air a little bit. We're going to join you back a little bit later for the finals. Thanks for watching. Keep us updated and see you soon.